Well, we here, man. Seemed like we was just here last night, about 18, 19 hours ago, wrapping up a video that we did with Emmanuel Wagnac, uh, scouting, scouting department from NFL Network, not NFL Network, but East West Football
Hey,
Network.
speaking to existence, man. You never.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
that too. So, man, we are officially, what is it now? Okay, we're a few minutes away from the Carolina Panthers officially being on the clock. So, thank you. We got two guys. We got two guys already on right now. We're gonna be with you guys through the first six picks. We're gonna break down the first five picks as they come off the board and how they could potentially affect the Detroit Lions. Everyone assumes, including yours truly and Ashanti, that Bryce Young will be the number one overall pick tonight. We could get shocked by it, could not.
on the
So,
clock. Yeah, yeah. Carolina officially on the clock. Let's talk about Bryce for a minute, Walt. I mean, this is his defining moment, man. You know that he's ready to go. He's absolutely, the best quarterback in this draft. I don't even think it's, quality. No one's going to question the talent, the intellect. Talent wise, he's got it on both upstairs mentally, and I think he's got it on the field, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just some guys come along every so often, you know what I'm saying, that they're gonna. I'm not saying he's gonna be who knows, I'm not saying he'll be a Hall of Famer or anything like that, but I think that man, Bryce Young is gonna really fit in nice for the Carolina Panthers, exactly what they need, you know what I'm saying, at quarterback. I just feel bad for Matt Rule because I think he got a kind of broad deal in this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to move on. Frank Wright's a good coach, though. You know what I'm saying? I think that uh, to go to a team with a offensive minded head coach, Walt, you can attest to this. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to bode well for him. You know what I'm saying? I look for Carolina in this draft to get him some weapons. Get it. He's already got well, I know he's got one monster left tackle already to keep him upright. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something where he hasn't uh, had that luxury. Maybe last year playing behind an Alabama offensive line that wasn't that great. And if you give Bryce time, he gonna make the right play. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about him. He always makes the right play. Little elusive. He can get out of there and scramble. Make some plays. It's unbelievable that Bryce Young won the Heisman, wound up coming back. People were saying maybe he not worthy of a number one pick. He is. You know what I'm saying? He's hands down the best quarterback in this draft, I think. And I feel you feel that way. A lot of people feel, and hell, the Carolina Panthers feel that way because they're going to take him. So well deserved, man.
I agree hardly. Going back my number one overall prospect on the board as well. Yeah, since last season, matter of fact, man.
Yeah, you've been
As I
real
said
high on
before, the
Bryce.
size doesn't bother me. Yeah, I mean the size doesn't bother me, man. He doesn't really take too many big shots. He has an uncanny ability to really avoid those big hits. That's really what you need. You need to be able to avoid big hits. Remember, Russell Wilson was one of the most, at one point in time, one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the league. And he rarely ever got guys like Josh Allen and Cam Newton, the 6'5" guys, the 240 plus pound guys who are kind of like battering rams out there. So I don't have any questions on Bryce Young aside from the size. If people have issues with that, they think, well, he's destined to get hurt. That's any quarterback. And as Emmanuel brought up
Mm-hmm.
last night, as much as everyone salivates over Will Levis was injured more than Bryce Young in college. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man. I know this is we're discussing Carolina Panthers right now, but that's what the draft is. We're trying to go through each pick leading up to number six and discuss during each pick what it could potentially mean for the Detroit Lions. Now, Bryce Young has not officially been announced as the number one overall pick, but over the
Mm-hmm.
past week or so, couple weeks, 3 weeks, the Bryce Young number one overall, the Carolina train has picked up a ton of steam. So that's kind of where we believe the Carolina Panthers are leading right now.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. They just show, they showing a highlight package.
We have
What?
Bryce Young,
Yeah, Bryce Young with the not last year, the year before last, and he making plays, man, against that Georgia defense with N'Kobe Dean, Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis. Uh, they had three guys that made it to the league, four guys that made it to the league on that defense, and he just showed, he was elusive, got out
Quay
of there,
Walker
got
too.
out. Yeah, Quay Walker, yep. And it was I couldn't think of him off
Channing,
the top of my
was
head.
it? Is it Channing Tindall?
Yeah, Tyndall too.
Channing
Yep, Channing
Tindall.
Tyndall. Yeah, yeah, heck yeah. Um, so I like Bryce Young, man. I do. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like kind of disrespectful to him a little bit because people say, "Oh, he might drop out of the top five, or he might be, the Lions might be able to get him." I never thought the Lions was able to get him. Unless we were number one or number two, it was no way. You know what I'm saying? You remember we was talking about it last year, Walt. Remember we was saying if the
Well, I
Lions
mean,
suck
I
enough,
think
they may be able to get him if they get one or two. I remember you said that last year. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, after the college football season ended, we were discussing a lot of things about Bryce because there were a lot of teams that were not as high on Bryce as things are right now. And like I discussed last night, the water kind of found its level. You know, we you go through a bunch of peaks and valleys during the NFL draft process, and then by the time it's all said and done, the water typically finds itself in the players who are supposed to be there are the players who are there. And you and I are both are in agreement that Bryce Young should be.
Yeah, this thing gonna
Carolina
get
has four
interesting.
minutes and 35 seconds left.
Yeah, it looked like 3 minutes 29 seconds. I was just gonna say, why I mean to interrupt you. This thing will get interesting at right after Bryce Young get picked. I think all hell about to break loose, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the Texans still down to the wire. They probably having a war room fight right now. You know what I'm saying? They don't know who they want. You know what I'm saying? I do believe reports that they
I
really don't know
will.
who
They
to take.
trying to shop that pick.
They could be. Yep. Let's see. The Panthers pick is in before the time run out. So usually
That's
when a
good for
team
us.
does that, yeah, yep. Usually for when the team does that, they solid on what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? I think this thing is pretty obvious. But
Well,
after
that's
Bryce
one
Young,
name that's off the board. That's one name that's off our board now.
oh for sure, for
Officially,
sure.
he been on our board for the last 12 months, but
Yeah,
Bryce Young
yeah,
is officially off our board now.
yeah, yep. And Carolina Panthers. Now they got to just surround them. I think they got to get some more weapons around them. You know what I'm saying? Get the kids some playmakers. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Yeah,
they can do it. It's a deep draft. You can do it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think Carolina's that far away, like
No.
roster
I mean,
wise, man. I
right,
mean,
right.
they sacrificed DJ Moore in the
Mm-hmm,
trade with Chicago, but
mm-hmm.
aside from that, you got a defense that's full of high picks,
Yep.
high draft picks, and guys who have panned out for Carolina. The guy I wanted to talk about last night at Penn State, Yatura Gross Matos. He's another guy who started
Mm-hmm.
slowly, but he's coming along gradually for them as well. Davion Nixon on that defensive line, Derek Brown, Brian Burns, he's an all-pro player. J.C. Horn, he looks
J.C.
like an
Horn.
all-pro talent type player as long as he can stay on the field. So
Yeah,
Carolina's
that's
got
the
some. It's not like he's
yeah.
going. It's not like he's going to a bare cupboard at all. And as you mentioned, he's going to Frank Wright, and he's got Deuce Staley also over there with him. So
Pick is in
Carolina's one of the better situations for him to land.
Bryce Young, first pick in the draft. Okay, now it's getting interesting. Now it's getting interesting. Okay, Bryce
All
with the
right, so what's up,
Bama.
man? Houston. We can just
Yeah,
jump straight to it. What does Houston
yeah.
do at number two? And
Oh man,
fans, everybody that's listening, feel free. It's a watch
they
party, so feel free to
hey,
chime in.
you look at Houston. They needed a quarterback too, man. I mean, I just be honest. I mean, Davis Mills, he did the job. You know what I'm saying? To an extent. You know what I'm saying? I think the Texans need some more help on defense. They obviously need some more weapons on offense. They running back, they okay. I would go the defensive side of the ball. D'Amico Ryans is the head coach. New head coach. I cannot see him passing on a guy like Will Anderson. To me, they could even go Jalen Carter. I mean, they kind of need somebody in there to help, stop the run. That's the number one. You could never go wrong with stopping the run. You know what I'm saying? And I think if that's number one focus, I'd be shocked if they don't take a defensive player. I would say they need a quarterback, but I think that because D'Amico Ryans is the coach, and I think they want to absolutely give him his first stamp on the franchise, and they take a defensive player here. That's what I think, Walt. You know what I mean? Whether it's Jalen Carter or I'm gonna say if I had to just place a bet and make it known, I'm gonna say they're gonna take Will Anderson. That's what I think they're gonna do.
All right. Well, as we said, it's official. Bryce Young is off the board. Number 1 overall pick in the draft. Number 1 overall prospect coming out of high school. Heisman Trophy winner, national championship winner. He's got the pedigree, man. He's got the pedigree, and it's going to be interesting to see how he fits into Carolina. Like you said, I feel like he almost fell into a catcher's mitt. Carolina, they went through what they went through with Matt Rule. Rule turned out to be a terrible hire. Was bad, I think. Well, not bad, but he just wasn't the right fit, I don't think, for the NFL. He's back in college, but they do, like I said before, they have a ton of defensive talent over there. They got to fix the running back position for damn sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they went running back with that next pick. Or even potentially traded up to get a guy, man, because right now you're looking at, is it Chuba Hubbard? I think Chuba Hubbard may be the starting running back because Dante Foreman left. Not Dante Foreman, he also left via free agency. So, yeah, man, I mean, I like the pick for Carolina. You know how I feel about quarterbacks, man. If you feel like you got that guy, you go with it. And Carolina went with it.
Yeah, yep. They got their guy. Totally got their guy. It's just I can't stress it enough. You know what I'm saying? To get a quarterback with a high IQ. People talk about his size, but like I say, it's plenty of examples out there we've seen that size is not going to play a role in this situation. I don't think, because like I said, his smarts make up the difference. His instincts make up the difference. You know what I'm saying? His playmaking ability. I think that more so than what we've seen in the past or the past quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? It's under 6 feet tall. So to me, I don't care about the size. You know what I mean? When it comes to if he can make plays, if he's just not a gimmick player, if he's just not a guy that you got him just for this system, I think that Bryce Young is interchangeable. He can play in any side. I think he can throw the rock. I think he could throw the intermediate. You know what I'm saying? If it was, I don't even see a guy that throws like a lot of interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, you could pick guy like we're gonna see, and the pick is in with the Texans right now too. You see D'Amico right there. If you could see sometimes like Anthony Richardson. We know that Anthony Richardson is needs some seasoning. You know what I'm saying? He needs some coaching. He's raw. He needs some the right coaches, the right people around him to allow him to be better. Instead of just plain athleticism. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Young don't have that. You know what I'm saying? He don't need none of that right now. He's got his natural ability to make plays, and I think that that's going to bode well for him,
Chris MVP Harris says, I'm going to kick it with all the peace, fellas. I'm in here. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Feel free to join in the conversation in the comment section. Let us know whatever you got to say about whatever discussing.
Yeah, comment too.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yeah, we just finished discussing Bryce Young, what me and Ashanti views were on Bryce Young, how he fits in Carolina. Like I said, he was always my number one. C.J. Stroud was really close. I thought for me the only thing, well, there were a couple of things separating Stroud and Bryce. For one, the size. Stroud had the size advantage, but to me, if you start talking about everything else intangible-wise, comparison between those two quarterbacks, to me, Bryce was head and shoulders better than Stroud, and I thought he was better than everybody else in his class. So that's if you were able to take the size factor out of it and just judge these quarterbacks on the field, things that they need to be able to do in order to get the game changed. So, and on top of that, Bryce is a game changer. You know, you
Yeah.
really want that game changer at quarterback. Carolina believes they have it, and we got a few months to find out, man. But it's officially draft night. And as you mentioned,
Wow. CJ Stroud. Wow. Oh my goodness.
see, I
Okay.
told you,
Okay.
told you, Houston ain't that dim.
Mm-hmm.
You picking number
Wow.
2 overall. Why would you stay there and take a damn linebacker?
Yeah.
Or even Jalen Carter for that matter, when you need a quarterback. So that's what's up, man. Stroud or Young, similar. Well, nah, because that year Justin Fields should have went number 2 overall, but he didn't. Zach Wilson went number 2. I was gonna compare him and Trevor, how they were number 1 and 2 coming out of college, coming out of high school, and number 1 and 2 coming out of college, and went number 1 and 2 in the draft. So CJ and Bryce, man, ain't that something?
Yeah. And I like
I would have loved to see both of them playing in the AFC South somehow, but that's not gonna happen. So Bryce is over in the NFC with Carolina, and CJ is over in the AFC South.
Yeah, and I'm happy for the guy, man, because they tried to play CJ. Yeah, he yeah, he CJ, they tried to play him, man. I think they did. You know what I'm saying? They and I'm glad Houston didn't bite. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad Houston did their homework walk. You know what I'm saying? You know how when the media don't like a guy or they try to put somebody ahead of another guy, you know what I'm saying? And then the agendas come out, whatever the case may be, and they didn't buy it. You know what I'm saying? CJ Stroud can ball, man. Period. You know what I'm saying? I like him just as much as I like Bryce Young. I think they 1A and 1B in this situation. Stroud had better numbers than Bryce Young, maybe slightly the last 2 years, you know what I'm saying? But 85 touchdowns the last 2 years stuck out with me with CJ Stroud. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like 6 more than Bryce Young had. And you looking at his package now. I mean, he could throw over the shoulder, man, on the run, down either sideline. You know what I'm saying? Now having Harrison, having Smith and Jigba, having Garrett Wilson last year, having Chris Olave, yes, that does help. But C.J. Stroud's a ball player, man. I'm just glad Houston did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And didn't buy into the bull crap, because I just didn't like you say, oh, well, he's not smart enough, and he scored an 18. I just felt that they just tried to tear him down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So good to see.
Yeah, I'm setting the screen up here. Pay no attention to NFL.com and all their
Yeah,
spam
CJ Stroud,
videos.
man.
But yeah, man.
6'3", 214.
Yeah. It just makes sense. It made more sense than Will Levis. It made more sense, I think, than Anthony Richardson. Also, he was the second best quarterback in this draft. I felt all along. He's got the size. He's got the frame to put on a little bit more weight. CJ 6'3", 214, 215. I can see CJ by year 3 being somewhere around 227 to 230. He's got that type of frame. You don't need him to run around a lot. He didn't improvise a lot at Ohio State. He really wasn't required to a lot. I don't think they wanted him to. But we saw that once he kind of had the shackles taken off of him towards the end of the season, CJ started to run a little more, started buying a little more time, using his legs, making things happen. And I think that's one key thing that you have to keep in mind with getting these new quarterbacks when you bring them in, these new quarterbacks. Being able to save possessions and keep possessions alive with your legs is key. Now, we don't need you to get a 70-yard touchdown run, but if you're a guy that can, on 3rd and 5, when things are breaking down, protections breaking down, are you just going to dive in the pocket and turn it into a 4th and 9? Or are you a guy that can get outside the pocket and make some things happen? So CJ proved he can do that, man, this past season. I was kind of skeptical on him all season. The Notre Dame game led me that way. The game against Oregon back in 2021 at the beginning of the season led me that way. The 2 Michigan losses led me that way. but he really saved himself with that huge performance, I think, against Georgia, and that's really what turned things around for Stroud.
Yeah, yo, that's my son anyway, man. Yo, yeah, man. C.J. Stroud is a incredible talent, man. Good, just a guy you would wanna, and it's good for a new coach, like because I like the coach to get the quarterback and start it out that way. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing the Lions haven't done they didn't do it that way yet. Well, they haven't done it that way because they haven't drafted a quarterback. But what I'm saying is, it's always good for a new coach is always hitched to the quarterback that they either take or that's already there. And I like that. Maybe I could have swore that they was going to take Will Anderson because I just thought D'Amico Ryan's more of a defensive guy, but he sees the big picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure down the line in this draft, they're going to get some defensive guys. But yeah, I'm happy to see CJ Stroud get drafted, like I said, because they tried to tear him down and, say he wasn't smart enough and, just really to put Will Levis at number 2. And that was a sucker bet. Remember I told you yesterday, they had Will Levis going number 2 overall. The odds was him getting picked for number 2 overall. So that was a sucker bet too. So I didn't fall for it, but you know what I'm saying? Good pick. Oh, Cardinals trade the pick to the Texans. Oh my goodness.
I figured somebody knew something.
You just said, hey,
we talked about that the last couple weeks about Houston traded with somebody, trading with Arizona back to get number 3. Who they taking in?
Yeah, they taking Will Anderson. We were just talking about now. D'Amico Ryans is not going to pass up Will Anderson. Not a second time. You know what I'm saying? He's too dynamic of a defensive guy.
I see he kind of spiteful, man.
Yeah. No, I don't like it.
Well, if I gotta if y'all forcing me to take a quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pissed because I see he happy. He like, yeah, I got my guy. Nah, you know what I'm saying? They showing him in the war room. But yeah, I wanted Will Anderson, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's tons of talent in this draft. You know what I mean? I wonder what the stipulation with the guidelines is. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if what they had to give up to get. I've never seen that before. Have you seen that before? A number 2 pick, and then you know what I'm saying? Like back-to-back picks in the top 5. Have you ever seen that trade?
Nah,
I've never seen that. That's wild right there. Wow.
I mean, they can do. I don't know. Houston can do a lot of things here too. They could go offensive line.
Well, if they go, yeah, they could to protect Stroud. Yep.
Or they could go Carter if they didn't feel like Carter was going to be there.
Yeah.
Tyree Wilson.
Yeah, Tyree Wilson too. Yep, he from Texas Tech. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that's interesting right here. What if they took Bijan? What if they went Bijan Robinson?
That'd be silly, man. I mean, even though I understand Dameon Pierce isn't the athlete, he isn't the dynamic player that Bijan is, Dameon Pierce still proved last season that he can carry the load. And he was somebody that you and I both, I believe, were high on coming out of Florida. So to go and take a running back Bijan, I don't care if it was Earl Campbell. Like I'm not following that up with a running back, man.
Oh yeah, Will Anderson. You knew that. They traded to get him, man. You know what I'm saying? You'd be crazy to pass on Will Anderson. I mean, that's just, you know what I'm saying?
He was serious. Caught a break in the graduation celebration.
Mike Barker done made it. What's up, Mike?
He was serious, man. He was serious about it.
See, Mike was creative tonight. Mike said, hey,
So, Mike, what you think, man? We got 2 quarterbacks, 1 and 2, Bryce and CJ. So, what happens third? Will Anderson goes third. Arizona moves back. So, what is that on the clock now? The Colts got,
Oh, man. Will Levis. I guarantee you that's Will Levis.
Will Levis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For Indianapolis. Now they got a new head coach. Yep. Yeah, perfect scenario for him, the new head coach, to get a quarterback. Will Anderson, Will Anderson, a dog, bro. He just that was a good pick for them. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they need that whole franchise needed a little shot in the arm a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh no, don't give it gives them juice. They got some
mhm,
juice now. I mean, Jalen Petrie turned out to be a star for them last year on the back end.
yeah,
Stingley
yeah,
missed some games, but Stingley, when he played, was still solid.
hmm
They needed an impact player, a playmaker on that front seven, and they believe that's what Will Anderson is going to be. Will might be in the best situation possible for him. He goes
hmm
to a former Alabama star in D'Amico Ryans as a head coach.
hmm
You can only there we go. You can only imagine what D'Amico Ryans is going to actually be able to do with him, man,
hmm
and
yeah.
probably build his defense from the ground up around Will Anderson.
It'll be super creative, man. You know, they can be super creative in what they, you know,
I
what
bet you. I'm
they
gonna tell you this: what's gonna happen tomorrow? You already know who's sitting there waiting to kill Detroit about not getting Will Anderson.
who's that?
Mikey V.
Oh, yeah, Valente, yeah, yeah. Because he was saying that all today.
He
He was
probably
saying,
they can't wait. They'll sit and wait. They will sit and wait to find something to pick this team apart about.
mhm,
You missed
yeah,
out on Will Anderson. You didn't have the guts to trade up and get him.
hmm Dutchtown High School, my friend. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. The Colts taking 5 minutes left for the Colts. I think it's gonna be Will Levis here. That's what I think. And then if you look at five with Seattle, Seattle ain't taking a quarterback. It could be Jalen Carter. You know what I'm saying at five. You know, if
Yeah.
that's the case, that's a scenario. The Lions, I think, if you're a Lions fan, you was kind of prepared because I was saying that Will Anderson and Jalen Carter might not be there. Now, Jalen Carter at 6, I think he'd pick for us. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. It depends on what Indy does, though. You know, I mean, they don't have a hella defense like that, though. What if they take Jalen Carter? You know
The
what I'm
Colts?
saying? Yeah,
Hell no. I mean, they got they got DeForest Buckner over there. They got some decent players on that defensive line.
yeah.
But
But
what if we get outside of the top 5 and Anderson, Carter, and Wilson all gone? Like, what if we see defensive players go to the next 3 picks?
uh you told me when he
Well,
go to
well, as
give when
far
he
as
get to
Will
us?
Anderson, yeah, as far as Will Anderson and Indianapolis and Seattle.
Oh wow. You saying that of all if they all take defensive guys?
Yeah.
Uh, I just
What is the craziest thing that you could see happen at 6 that you would make you get up and snatch the headphones off?
if they took
Will Levis?
I think that's probably the only scenario because if we took Richardson, I would be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I would be cool with it. Or if we went like, man, at this point, Witherspoon, I would be okay with. I'll be okay with Christy Gonzalez. I want Christy Gonzalez over Witherspoon. I say that. I want that be on record. You know what I'm saying? But Witherspoon is okay. You know what I'm saying? He more physical, but Christian Gonzalez is a better cover corner. Period. You know what I'm saying? We get into coach making a pick right now. Yeah, if we took Will Levis, dude, I'm done tonight. I'm just I will be upset. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Will Levis.
Say I don't want Will Levis.
Mm.
I don't know, man. I mean,
And I'm saying that he could be right, be the best quarterback out of all of them, but I don't know. I don't think so.
you would be assuming that putting him in our system, in our culture with Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell and a solid offensive line and a run game and a few weapons that he would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, man, you got to be an awfully bad bust for you to not be successful in our type of offense, which you would have if you did come
Look
here.
like they're taking Richardson. They showing Richardson.
Okay, so to break that trade down, Houston gets the the third overall pick, and they also get a 4th-round pick from Arizona, pick 105 overall.
Oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. I mean, they didn't. So I
Man, they
mean,
gotta
what?
get some brothers in that room, man.
So I want to Arizona.
Man, no. Like, man, can I get a brother in that room? One that's not sweeping the floor?
Here we go.
Yep.
Wow, I can't believe they took Poole to take. He
Hey,
went number
Rich.
4 overall, dude.
Hey, Rich.
Wow, they really went out on the. I like the upside. I like everything about him. You know what I'm saying? It just you gotta have to work with him, man. I hope they don't put him in there week 1. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's ready for that yet. You know what I'm saying? How many times have we seen it? You know what I'm saying? That you put a guy out there and he clearly not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he can't get ready, but I just right now it may be a good set. I don't think the Colts is stable enough to me. I don't know, man. I don't think that's the right spot for him. But we'll see.
Well, boy. There was rumors about it. I think we discussed a couple weeks ago we discussed a couple days ago about the possibility of Richardson potentially falling out of the top 10. Well, as we see, that's not going to happen. Unless they're holding on to him to trade him, which I don't believe that's going to happen. So it's looking like Anthony Richardson is the new starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. Because what else do they really have, man?
That's what I'm saying.
It's their best bet to get him in there and implement a new offense because they don't like. What is the offense?
That's what I'm saying. The Colts.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yep, they got him. They got Jonathan Taylor. We know he's a workhorse, but he kind of tapered off last year. Now we see the ability. Now, Anthony, I'm telling you, out of all the quarterbacks, he do have like the best upside. I mean, you hear that all the time, but man, 6'4", 244. He kind of remind me. I was gonna say a slimmer like Dante Culpepper a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's how he remind me of. And if he half of what Culpepper was, it was a good pick for the Colts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking of their organization as a team. I think the Colts stink as a team right now. You know what I'm saying? So a guy like him, I was thinking like Seattle, like a more like Pete Carroll stable coach, somewhere like even if you pick somebody like the Raiders, the Saints, you know what I'm saying? So just some other teams that have a quarterback that maybe, you could bring him along slowly. You know what I'm saying? I hope, he gets in there, he could hit the ground running, but the Colts need some things, you know what I mean, before they're able to compete, in my opinion,
Who's the starter for the Colts right now at quarterback?
If
you know offhand, I can always check and look.
Wasn't it? Was it Brissett?
Well, he gone.
No, he was in Cleveland. He was in Cleveland. Yeah. It was. Oh man.
As far as who's on the roster right now at the moment.
Yeah, Shane Steichen is the coach. I had to look it up. I don't even know who the coach is in Indy. I know he's first-year coach.
Gardner Minshew. That's right. Gardner Minshew, Nick Foles, and Sam Ehlinger. Former Texas Longhorn great Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah, Ehlinger played good, though. I remember a couple games last year for them.
So what we figure, Gardner Minshew is going to be the starter in 2023?
Probably.
I would assume that's what it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Richardson, bring him in slowly. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel more comfortable like that. I was just hoping they wouldn't just throw him in there because that's a recipe for a disaster, man. You know what I'm saying? When you throw a young quarterback in there and the team is not very good. So,
offensively, they're not as bad as I thought they were. Jonathan Taylor is going to be healthy for him. Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be healthy. Alec Pierce, he showed some promise his first year in the league. A big, tall wide receiver.
That from Cincinnati? Run. Yeah, I like him. Yep.
They can use the tight end for sure, but
I was going to say
even the offensive line. Like the offensive line has been good. They've just been beat up the last 2 or 3 years. And Quentin Nelson, he's a prime example of a guy who, when he's on the field, he looks like possibly the best offensive lineman in football. But Quentin's always hurt. Braden Smith, Ryan Kelly is a solid center in this league. So the cupboard isn't completely bare for the Colts offensively. They do need to get some work going. They really do. I think they need to solve that offensive line first because it's not enough to invest all of that money in the offensive line and just leave it at that. Because guys got to play. Best ability is availability, and that offensive line has been a big reason why Taylor's been hurt and has struggled since his second year in the league, and they really can't get anything going downfield. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
yeah. But I find this interesting, man. Now this raises the question: where the hell does Will Levis go? And if Levis doesn't go to Seattle with this next pick, do the Detroit Lions start and making some phone calls or yielding more phone calls to see whoever wants Will Levis
Hmm. Yeah.
to move
Oh
up?
yeah.
Because I don't
Yeah.
think we take Will Levis.
No. No. Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, this next pick is huge because if it's Will Levis or Jalen Carter, I think the Lions might trade out of the pick. If it's just say if Seattle takes Jalen Carter, I think the Lions might trade out of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, unless everybody was right and Vegas said that the Lions gonna take Witherspoon. You know what I'm saying? Not that as of today.
Well,
So
Vegas was completely wrong about Paris Johnson being the third overall pick,
yeah, and Will Levis being the second quarterback taken. You
or
know,
even the first quarterback taken.
you know. Let's see. Perfect. Will Anderson Jr. went third. Okay.
Yeah, it just feels like D'Amico stepped in and said, "Okay, you know what? If y'all can get y'all quarterback, I got to get my defensive player." That is kind of how defensive coaches tend to think too.
Yeah, then that's what, like I said, and the Lions gonna do the same thing. I think with Aaron Glenn, I think they're gonna reward him for, and they gonna get him some, another piece. I think, you know what I'm saying. Just how I think, Seattle pick is in. Let's see what they do.
I'm over here with some buffering, man. How much you want to bet that if Carter isn't the pick right here for Seattle, he's gonna be the pick for Detroit at 6?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You take Jalen Carr, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now if they pick if Seattle pick Jalen Carter, I think it's gonna be something about to happen.
Then it's like Tyree Wilson's name been thrown out a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
We drafted enough hurt players, man. Like, can you imagine if we took another dude? People forget, like, this dude hasn't practiced it in a long time. This dude hasn't even worked out for anybody due to that foot injury for this entire draft process. So, like, after taking Jameson last year hurt, and you took Levi Wuzarike, who was hurt, Josh Pascal was hurt.
Pascal, yep.
Like, I don't want to see us take another hurt dude in the first round. So, I already said that if it came down to pick 6 and Will Anderson was gone off the clock, he was going off the board, that I would just avoid that edge rusher spot, period, and would go in the cornerback class. But I also figured that Jalen Carter wouldn't be there. So
Man,
you just
you
don't
think
know, man. It's a crapshoot. You don't know these dudes' personalities. You
Or
don't know
they-
their tendencies, because everybody got tendencies. You don't know how any of these dudes are going to react once they get money. You don't know how their families are going to react. And some of these cats come from families where their families dictate everything that goes on around them. So if the family is wild and out of control, chances are you're going to draft a player that's wild and out of control. And I heard a past GM say that a long time ago, that a lot of times they'll venture off deep into a player's family history, the type of relationships they have with their parents,
Wow.
grandparents, and everybody.
Wow, Witherspoon, Devin Witherspoon.
Seattle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a reach for him, man. You think he that good to be out?
I think
He good. He's good.
I think
He's good.
look, I'm gonna say this, man. I think he is, but if you Seattle, considering the situation Seattle's in right now, like you hit on Kobe Bryant and you hit on Tariq Woolen. Now, was that really necessary to take a corner to take Witherspoon at 4? But he did say, he was on Steve Smith's podcast a couple of days ago. He did say that he visited Seattle Seahawks, and they had probably the most beautiful facility that he has seen.
Wow.
So,
See, he laid it well. I mean, Witherspoon can play. He really can.
so
And
you
I
gonna
think
move Kobe Bryant to the slot then?
yeah, yep. And that's why. Remember, we was talking about showing people was getting on us because we was saying the Lions should draft a cornerback. And you got Cam Sutton, you got Manny Mosley. Well,
You see what
Seattle
Seattle did? A
exactly.
competent organization. I hate hearing Lions fans constantly talk about what we can't do, but you see better organizations do the complete opposite.
Because what do we take Gonzalez? Will the Lions they pass on Jalen Carter and take Christian Gonzalez? Would you be good with that?
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, because Gonzalez is a pure cover corner, man. See, Witherspoon, I think he want to hit somebody. And Devin Witherspoon loved like hitting people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to bode well for him in the league. I think Christian Gonzalez is a better cover corner. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy you can put him out there by himself and he'd be fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think we going Christian Gonzalez. I think they're gonna pass on Jalen Carter, man. That's what I think.
Wouldn't be mad, man. I'm a big Gonzalez fan, so like I said, I wouldn't be mad. Looking at it from the organization's perspective, they did invest high picks over the past 2 years in defensive tackle, so you're hoping you get something eventually out of Levi and Wuzurike. You're hoping you get more out of Josh Pascal. We got a lot of interchangeable guys along that defensive line. So if Brad Holmes felt that he was secure enough with what we currently have on that defensive line and felt like he didn't have to take Carter, I could understand that. But if Carter turns out to be what everybody thinks he can turn out to be, you're talking about a potential Warren Sapp, John Randall type of disruptive player in the middle of that defense, that makes Aiden Hutchinson a hell of a lot better. That makes James Houston better. That makes all of those interchangeable guys on that defensive line a hell of a lot better because Carter takes pressure off people, Hutchinson takes pressure off people, and once James Houston gets going, he can take pressure off people. So I can get it, man. You know, even if we went Gonzalez, I don't think there's another corner we would take at 7. I mean, at 6. I think if it is going to be a corner at 6, it'll be Gonzalez. I understand we invested free agency money in Emmanuel Mosley, who's coming off an ACL injury on a 1-year deal. And we gave Cam Sutton, who's a very solid player from the Pittsburgh Steelers, we gave him some money. Outside of that, we don't have a damn thing at corner. And you and I have been stressing that for the last 3 weeks for everyone, ever since free agency started. Everyone felt like, well, we signed 2 corners. The hell with the cornerback position. We don't need to still address that. That's bullshit. Completely, because if you leave it for what it is, you lost Amani, who really wasn't a loss, but you lost another body out that cornerback room. You shipped out Jeff Okudah. So after you get past the first 2 guys you signed in free agency, what the hell else do you really have? You need to kind of hedge your bets. Like, what if Mosley turns out to be another one and done, like DJ Chark and Deshaun Elliott were? So you stuck having to draft another corner next year anyway, or overpay for another corner in free agency. If Mosley turns out to be a dud, you just slide Christian Gonzalez over into that situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think he can play all over the field, too. I think he can line up in the slot.
Yeah, because that's a situation where, like you said, Seattle, if a guy fits your system and he's, that good, it doesn't matter if you drafted a guy like that last year. You know what I'm saying? That's why, even though, like you said, we got Josh Pascal, we got, Aleem McNeil, that's not a reason not to take Jalen Carter. You know what I'm saying? Because you do even
all of these people are cheap too. Bugs is cheap. Kaminsky's cheap. All those guys are cheap.
Yeah, Aleem McNeil's on his rookie deal still. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know if you're going to pay him. You don't know how he's viewed around amongst the rest of the GMs in the league. You may not want to overpay for him. Like, you got to start hedging your bets. And fans have to understand that these teams, and none of these teams are finished products. And while we're looking at next year, you have to be able to, in order to build a contender, you have to be able to look forward 3-4 years down the line.
Right. Witherspoon. Yeah. I like to take the other guy. I like to get Deontay Banks in here. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be a bad pick either if we went. If we
Banks at
went.
6.
No. I mean at 18, not 6. But, yeah.
So everybody listening, shoot up the comment section. Y'all watching the draft right along with us. What do you think Detroit should be doing at 6 right now, man? Should we be going corner? Should it be Jalen Carter?
Oh, Lions traded the pick.
There we go.
Traded to the Cardinals.
Okay, so we moving back to. We took so we moving back to 12.
See, I think that's the only thing I don't like. See, because they take Jalen Carter, I bet.
Arizona.
You never trade out of the top 10.
Well, you know what that is, man. They're hoping. Brad Holmes has to be hoping that one of those top corners falls to 12. That's it, because there's nothing else you really gonna be comfortable taking at 12. Like, I don't think Gonzalez is gonna be there at 12. Maybe he does. That's why they're willing to trade out of the top 10. But man, like, once you trade out of the top 10, man, you lose the ability to get those elite prospects unless there's somebody, like I said, that you really believe is gonna be there at 12.
We get number 34 though.
See, that's cool.
Yeah,
so we got three second-round picks.
3 second-round picks. I like that. That's cool. There's a lot of talent in this draft. And then I think Witherspoon was their guy. I do, and I think Seattle took him. I do. I think now you look at it, they probably said we trade. Now that tells you a lot about Jalen Carter. They ain't picking him. The Lions didn't want him. You know what I'm saying?
If they willing to trade back to 12, now what if you trying to avoid Jalen Carter, but he still falls in your lap at 12? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm here.
Yeah,
I think he's worth it. Now you got it. Just go ahead and take him.
That speaks volumes. I don't know if Jalen Carter gonna be there. I think Atlanta probably take him.
Yeah. Well, we also, man, we're speaking on this from the outside looking in. We're not privileged to any of the information Brad Holmes and that organization has on these players. They could have found out something about Carter at Georgia when they went down there that just completely turned them off, for all we know.
Oh, Paris Johnson.
Arizona? Told you.
Paris
Johnson. Vegas had Paris going at number 3 overall.
Yeah, so we went a couple picks after.
All right, man. So that's who's on the board now at number 7?
Oh, man.
Is it Atlanta?
Vegas.
Vegas on board, okay.
Mm-hmm. So, wow. Paris Johnson can ball. That was a good pick for Arizona. They traded up to get him. You know what I'm saying? But
all right, so we looking at
Vegas.
Raiders at 7, Falcons at 8, Panthers at 9.
Raiders
not Panthers at 9.
Raiders gonna do something stupid. Watch, I guarantee they probably take Will Levis. That's what I'm gonna say, or Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter go to the Raiders. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
Raiders, they always do something stupid.
Yeah, but I think a lot has to be said for not being too tone deaf either. And considering what they just went through with Henry Ruggs a couple years ago, and the traffic issue, well, we already know what happened with Henry Ruggs. I don't think they would go and bring in Jalen Carter. I couldn't see it. I think the perception matters to a lot of these organizations too. And after the alcohol situation and the homicide with Henry Ruggs and what he went through and that family went through that situation, and then you bring in Jalen Carter with the drag racing and a teammate losing their life, it's a bad look, I think, for the Raiders. So I think off of that, they go off of that alone. I think quarterback is the position. Could be Levis.
Yeah, they're going to take Will Levis. I agree with you. Because
what are you doing, man? You eating? You eating during the show? Annihilators?
No.
Internet that went completely out during the draft.
For real?
Yours. Yeah, man. I'm over here buffering, boy. I've been buffering.
You
I've
can't
been
really tell.
buffering for the last 20 minutes, man.
Yeah,
You
one
got it
time
though.
I see the go kind of mad, but it's straight. You good?
No, I'm talking not me. I'm talking about the TV.
Oh, oh.
Draft just stopped in the middle of Will Anderson pick.
I think the days of the big, you know how the big linemen, the big sloppy linemen, you know what I'm saying, it's big in the mud and just for no reason. I think them days are all these guys are slim, man. You see Perry
Even the
Johnson.
guards.
Yeah, Perry Johnson is slim, trim, you know what I'm saying? A mountain of a guy, but man, he not even don't even look like offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? You know, without his uniform on. The NFL changed, man, big time. You know, that's why you got to be versatile. You got to be quick. You know, that's why I think, you know, you got to have players in space. You know what I mean? What if the Lions take Bijan Robinson at 12 now? They might take him. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, it's a
they
little
got
reverse
three.
psychology that could be going on. Like Brad could be backing us back to a point where you can take Bijan and say, well, it was at 12, so the hell with it. I mean, I
Mm-hmm,
still think that we need to invest in a really good defensive player, even at 12. So, I
mm-hmm.
mean, like, if Gonzalez fell to 12, you still wouldn't take him?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be there, though.
Or do you feel more comfortable taking Tyree Wilson at 12 than you would have taken him at 6?
I would take Tyree Wilson. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. That foot don't scare me like that. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll be
It
okay with
better.
that.
You know what a bad foot can do to somebody that's almost 300 pounds? I don't know. It's just he scares me, man. He scares me.
Mm-hmm.
I think
But
he's too much of a boom or bust player because we didn't see the production like that. I mean, you saw
if
the
I
hurries. I gave the hurries, but
uh-huh. If I had to make a choice, I would want Christian Gonzalez over time. Because Christian Gonzalez is a surefire, you know what I'm saying, starter in the NFL day one. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. You know.
so Lions fans, what are we doing at 12? We don't know what the hell we're gonna do at 12 because we don't know what's gonna happen in the picks, the 4 picks ahead of us, 5 picks ahead of us. But what are the Raiders gonna do for everybody that is listening right now? What are the Raiders going to do? Because historically, the old Al Davis Raiders would have probably taken Jalen Hyatt at number 8. I mean, at number 7. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but that era's over with. Derek Carr is now gone. He's in New Orleans. They signed Jarrett Stidham, I believe.
Yep.
Yep. So
Quarterback. Yeah.
former New England Patriot Josh McDaniels has ties with him. So he made sure he got him a guy in there that knows exactly how he wants his offense to be ran. But no one believes Stidham is the future for them. So I figure if you're picking in the top 10, man, and you're the Raiders sitting at number 7, Will Levis must be your guy. He must be. Unless, like I said, unless you're going to go Carter. But this
I
is a
think
team
Will.
that's completely completely rebuilding. So
Well, they got
how
Jimmy
much?
G. They got Jimmy G too. Remember they signed him.
Yeah, true.
So they can still. But I'm saying I still think they're gonna take Will Levis though. They always do something stupid, man.
Said always.
Always. You know, if they go offensive line, you know.
I mean, the Raiders got a lot of needs. They could go Gonzalez. They need corners too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
They also need edge players. They could go Tyree Wilson. I mean, you want to pair him with Max Crosby? Because Chandler Jones is on his way out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders got a lot of different directions they can go in. Also, as far as a lot of other teams, man. But other than Will Levis, is there any other possible player you think that you could possibly see go here? It
Um,
won't be Bijan.
I'm gonna
It won't be
say,
him.
what if they reached and took what's the kid what if they went Skoronsky, no, from Northwestern,
Uh,
offensive lineman.
I wouldn't hate it,
Mm-hmm.
but as a Raider, you must realize that okay, so what is he gonna do? Is he going to play tackle? Are you comfortable enough with his lack of raw power, athleticism, and arm length? Are you comfortable enough to throw him out there at left tackle? It doesn't have to necessarily be from day one, but you have to make sure you're comfortable enough with playing him at left tackle in the NFL. Because if you're not, you don't want to spend a top 10 pick on a guard if you intend to move him inside the right guard or left guard. So, and I don't think he's going to be stout enough in the run block game wise to really play right guard. So you're talking about probably playing him at left guard. So it's going to be interesting, man.
Tyree Wilson.
Well, there you go. There you go. So Will Levis falls to Detroit at number 12.
You don't say that.
Hey, man, listen. You draft Will Levis at number 12. You still got the 18th pick. And you still got 3 second-round picks to build around him. I'm not trying to sell the fans on Will Levis because I don't really want Will Levis either. But, man, we set up to do something really good at 12, man.
Yeah.
Because if we start looking at the teams that are still ahead of us right now, okay, so Carter didn't go to the Raiders. That's a red flag. Him not going to Seattle, I think, was a red flag. The fact that Detroit traded away from him all the way down to 12, I think, is a red flag. I don't think he goes past the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons really give a damn, man. He's a player that's from there. They know all about Jalen Carter, and he fits a need. He fits a severe need. They need as much help as they've done, as much work as they've done on that back end, the past couple drafts, the past couple free agencies of building that team on the back end. And linebacker-wise, I like Troy Anderson also, the linebacker they drafted from Montana a year ago. Excellent athlete. But they need a big-time difference maker on that defensive line bad, man.
Yeah, Tyree Wilson, a bully, dude. I mean, I like him. I think he'll be all right.
So Tyree Wilson to the Raiders, man. Boy, boy. All right, so for a team that I started thinking about the next year, the upcoming year also with a lot of these picks for these teams. So I think the ship has sailed on Jimmy G. No one believes. I feel pretty safe saying that I don't think anyone believes Jimmy G is going to go to the Raiders and lead the Raiders anywhere. He got as far as he did with the 49ers because of that team, that roster, that organization, and that head coach. So you throwing him into a situation with the Raiders where Derek Carr, he's gone now. That roster is almost clean. Almost everybody. Who's still remaining from the John Gruden draft class? Majority of those guys are gone now. So
yeah, because like you said, it was
it's a risk, man.
Max Crosby, Henry Ruggs, Jacobs. He part of that class, right? Yeah, so he's still there. What's the title?
Abram.
Ingram. Yeah, with
Abrams. He's gone though.
Yeah, John name safety. Yeah, he gone. Cleveland Farrell. Didn't they just get rid of him?
I think he signed with the 49ers.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's the 49ers.
Yeah. So, Atlanta, the pick is in. I think they're going Jalen Carter, man. Atlanta.
Yeah, I think so too.
If not, Chicago gonna get him. And wouldn't that be something, man, to play against him twice a year? You know what I'm saying? If the Bears took him. Even though they need to protect Justin Fields big time. You know what I mean?
They do.
And Skoronski would fit in good, hometown, would be good for the Bears, I think.
Well, yeah. Because if Atlanta passes on them, for who I don't know, they could take another corner. But if Atlanta passes on them, I mean, if this draft is supposed to be all about helping Justin Fields, Jalen Carter really doesn't do that. But the Bears do need a lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball. And Carter's still a gamble. He's still a gamble, but if you're the Bears, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I find it strange that through all the rumors we heard over the past 2 weeks about the Philadelphia Eagles at number 10 potentially wanted to trade up to get Jalen Carter, this dude might fall to them. He might actually fall to Philadelphia at number 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's some news that Javier and Jerry really don't want to hear, boy. Philadelphia Eagles end up Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter.
Then they be raising hell the next 8, 9 years, 10 years in that division.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't think he gets past. I don't think Carter. If Carter is the pick for Atlanta here, I don't think he gets past them at number 10. Because if he does, do the Tennessee Titans take him? No, they just gave Jeffrey Simmons a ton of money at number 11.
Week 12, right? Yeah. What are the Lions? Will we pass on them twice, dude? That would be crazy.
Yeah, because then you start wondering if Detroit passed on him at 12, where the hell does he go? Do the Jets take him and pair him with Quinnen Williams? Woo, boy. Well, nope. That Jets pick goes to Green Bay. So what if Green Bay took him?
That's what I'm saying. I would hate that going. Anybody in our division, that would be bad. You know what I'm saying? What if the Falcons took Will Levis?
I've seen that in the mock before. Mm-hmm. What if the Falcons took Bijan?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think they might go Bijan Robinson. Yeah. But I'm gonna put it out there. I think they're gonna go
Jalen Hyatt.
Well, the Lions took Jalen Hyatt
at 12.
Yeah.
What if they took Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Yeah, I'm with it.
With three second, I don't think they're gonna keep all three of those second round picks.
We got 18 too, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got 12 and 18 now. You know what I'm saying? Still got 18. I think the Falcons going Jalen Carter. I'll be shocked if they pass on them. Like you said, where are you gonna go? If they pass on them, where are you gonna go?
Jalen Carter? I mean, he could go to Chicago. The Eagles are probably his floor, though, at number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Goodell actually being allowed to talk and not booed? Yeah, buddy. So, Lions fans, what do you think right now so far? There was rumors of the team potentially trading out of number 6. They didn't trade up, though. They traded backwards. And we still managed to keep the 18th overall pick. And we also have 3 second-round picks. But we're still waiting to see exactly what the team's going to do once they are on the board at number 12. So, Michael.
Bijan.
See?
Bijan can ball, man. I kind of wanted him a little bit.
See?
Mm-hmm. Everybody passing on Jalen Carter, dude.
Something happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
that's a good pick for them, man.
We're gonna probably have a decision to make then at number 12 because if we start going through these other picks, okay, Atlanta passed on them. I don't think Chicago goes corner. So the Eagles could go corner at 10.
Okay, Christian Gonzalez.
Tennessee, I don't think they go corner at 11.
The Bears just trade the pick.
See, there we go.
To the Eagles.
See?
Oh, they take Christian Gonzalez.
They traded up one spot to rob who?
Christian Gonzalez. So them in Chicago flip-flop picks. That's all they did. Chicago went back.
That's something, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they already the pick is in already. Was see they were messing around. Eagles. I bet it's Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, buddy. I'm just glad they reduced it from 20 minutes to 10 minutes, man.
Yeah, it do. What if they take Nolan Smith?
Oh, who? The Eagles?
Yeah,
Um, well, we
Nolan
want to
Smith. I
start talking
said
about
no. Go ahead. Go
Nolan
ahead. I'm sorry.
Smith.
Yeah.
That's who the pick is.
No. They
Uh,
didn't pick it yet. They didn't say it yet.
um, the Eagles lost a decent amount of people this offseason, all in efforts to make sure they could re-sign. Re-sign Jalen Hurts. So Brandon Graham is still older. Jordan Davis is still learning, but Fletcher Cox is back again. They can use some more youth along that defensive line. They can use some youth on that offensive line too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jalen Carter would be that'd be a monster. You called it. You just said that they might.
Well, cornerback too.
Uh-huh.
Slay getting up in age. They can use some help on that back end. The Eagles they're not foolproof yet.
Man, they moved back. That was crazy. I never seen that before. Two things I never seen: back-to-back picks for a team. They traded. Houston got back in the first round, traded to number 3, and then I've never seen a team swap picks with another team and move back one spot. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen that before. They swap picks basically.
Yeah, Houston gave up that 12th pick to Arizona. Then Arizona pimped that 12th pick to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is with Jalen Carter, though, we won't hear about it till sometime tomorrow morning. Well, it all depends on how far Carter slides.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bears said forget him, huh?
Mm-hmm. That pass too.
So, yep, we're looking at Tennessee at 11,
Mm-hmm.
us at 12, Green Bay picking at 13, New England at 14, Jets at 15, Washington Commanders at 16, Pittsburgh Steelers at 17, and then Detroit right back up at number 18. Anyway, I was wondering how close Brad Holmes and the team was to actually, trading up potentially for somebody. Or maybe they never intended at all to actually move up. Yep, Mike, we sitting at number 12 right now. Yep, so Mike, in case you missed it, the Houston Texans, of course, took C.J. Stroud at number 2. Then they took that 12 pick, traded to Arizona for some stuff. Arizona moved back to number 12. Then Arizona took that pick, and they moved that pick to Detroit. I got that right there, V? Can't hear you.
Oh, I had my mic muted. Muted. Yep, you was right, Walt. That's exactly right. All right, the Eagles up here.
But Mike, we did pick up that 30 with the 34th pick.
The 30, yeah, number 34.
So Mike, we currently sitting with 3 second-round picks right now.
12, 18, and 3 in the third. 3 in the second. I think Witherspoon was they guy, man. Seattle took him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why they.
Yeah, that's possible. That's really possible.
Yeah, Jalen
See?
Carter. Yeah.
Yep.
hmm He
And
he he perfect fit for Philly, man. That was a good spot for him to go. You know what I'm saying? Like you just laid it out. You know what I'm saying? Who he be
he got
playing with?
vets. Yeah, he got
Yep.
vets over there. He got Fletcher Cox to keep him in line.
Yeah,
He got his
Brandon
boy.
Graham. Oh man, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Brandon Graham's been a mainstay, for the Eagles, man. Possibly borderline Hall of Famer, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, is what he's meant to the organization. Um, I like the pick for them. I think that was a heck of a pick to get him at 9, man. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to. Well, they really they did trade up a spot, but yeah, to make sure Chicago did. I'm glad Chicago didn't get him though, so you don't have to see them boys.
Yeah, well,
Mm. Bears made they pick real quick.
Jalen Carter. All right.
Yep.
You think Jalen plays right away in Philadelphia? I think he's going to be part of a
Uh,
rotation with there, at
yeah, because
least
remember
until
Jordan Davis.
2024. We think. No, Mike. Devin
Witherspoon went
Witherspoon
number
went
5,
fourth overall to Seattle. Yeah, fifth
5th.
overall to Seattle. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot of people were shocked by that. Not the fact that
Mm-hmm.
Witherspoon was the first corner off the board, but the fact that he went in the top 5. So, well, maybe we shouldn't be that shocked by it. I mean, Derek Stingley went third overall last year, and then Sauce went fourth overall. So, personally, I think Witherspoon is a better prospect than Stingley. So,
But
should we really be shocked that Witherspoon went that high?
I am. I think I thought for sure Gonzalez was going before him. You know what I'm saying? I think Gonzalez. I never whatever. Ralph. I thought I did never ever have Witherspoon ahead of Christian Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying, Walt? In any scenario in my
I mean,
assessment,
a lot of people did, though. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who did because I see exactly what everybody's seeing with the spoon. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I prefer Gonzalez also. I'm kind of biased towards the bigger, longer corners. The prototypical guys, those are typically the guys that I like, man, when it comes to playing on the corner. Witherspoon is about 6 foot, which ain't bad at all. He's 180. I don't expect him to stay at 180. He's probably going to end up playing around 187 to 190. You can get him around that size right there. He's got decent arm length. He's got the quickness. He's got the change of direction, and he competes like hell.
what if
So I'm cool with Witherspoon. I think he fits Seattle perfectly, man, with him and Tariq Woolen on the outside. So, yeah,
what if
I like what Seattle did.
yeah yeah what if the Lions took Darnell Wright at 12? Would you be upset? Huh?
Nah, I wouldn't be upset. Nah, I wouldn't be upset.
I'm just putting it out there.
I'm upset that NFL Network keeps slapping all these advertisements on my page while I'm trying to actually share it, though.
Mhm.
All right, so let's start
Yeah,
talking about these people.
these guys iced up. All these cats iced up.
Of course, the
Hey,
agents paid for it.
uh,
No, seriously. Like
mm,
a lot, man, it be loans. The
mm.
agents look out for you. In a lot of them cases, them boys can't afford them suits. But I mean,
and NIL money now. They
some of
getting
them
that.
get donated.
Mhm.
Mommy, do all of them got NIL money? No, CJ had that NIL money.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, they
all right, so we who we looking at now on the
dang.
board?
Jalen Carter, he not. Oh my goodness, Jalen Carter a problem when he want to play. But see, they ain't showed it to Tennessee when Darnell Wright pancaked him on the side a couple times. They're showing his highlight package, but yeah. Okay. You ask if he play right away. I say he do, man. I say he do play right away. But man, what a problem they gonna cause, in that division. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Like you said, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. You know, what's the Hargreaves left, didn't he? Hargrave went to the 49ers, I think.
Oh yeah, Javon Hargrave.
Yeah, Javon
Yeah,
Hargrave left. They linebacker was a guy I wanted. Went to Chicago. The one linebacker. Can't think of his name.
TJ
Yeah, T.J. Edwards. T.J. Edwards.
TJ Edwards. Yeah.
That went to the Bears. Yep.
All right, let's track the draft for the people who haven't been able to see it thus far. So, this is what happened so far, everybody. We looking at bring this in a little closer for y'all, man. So we Bryce Young, number 1 overall to the Houston Texans, not the Houston Texans, the Carolina Panthers. C.J. Stroud, number 2 overall to Houston. Will Anderson in the trade with the Arizona Cardinals goes number 3 overall to Houston. Anthony Richardson, 4th overall to the Indianapolis Colts. Devon Witherspoon was the 5th overall pick. 3 corners have been taken in the top 5 the last 2 years. I think that's crazy, man.
Wow, darn there, right. I knew he was going to the Bears. That was a good pick for Chicago.
Yeah.
They need offensive line help. Big remember I said Skoronski, but they picked. That's my guy, Darnell Wright, man. That kid gonna be good. I think so. That was a good pick for them because Justin Fields needs some protection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to protect your prize asset. At quarterback.
Well,
6'5", 333.
now that we stare it down, we are officially on the clock now, right?
Tennessee.
Oh yeah, Tennessee. That's right.
But they pick is it sure they pick is in. They already know who they.
Gotta be Levis.
Yep.
Gotta be Levis.
Yeah. What if they took Hendon Hooker? What if they took Hendon Hooker?
What if Detroit took Hooker?
Yeah, well, if Detroit took him, yep.
I don't think that's good. I don't know, man. I mean, moving back to 12 and picking up an extra second is like, man, like we not far away now. But if we did draft, I don't want. Listen, the top guys are all gone. I wanted Bryce.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying personally, I wanted Bryce. I would have dealt with CJ. I would have been okay with Anthony Richardson. But now we getting into some shaky territory, man. Like I don't.
Not really. This is why I say that. Okay. I would be cool with this because we got 12 and 18, right? I'm taking Mozzie at 12 because I want to make sure I get him.
12?
Yeah, because 18.
You can get Mozzie at 18, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm thinking one in the corner. I'm thinking
unless somebody trade up, like a Dallas or somebody potentially trade up, but
that's what I'm saying.
That's something you can't really account for, though.
I'm telling you, Walt, I'm taking Mozzie at 12, and at 18, I'm taking Joey Porter or Deontay Banks because Christian Gonzalez. I'm willing to sacrifice Christian Gonzalez to get Mozzie because I think we need him. You know what I'm saying? The Lions need Mozzie on that defensive line. And then you take the next available corner at 18. Whether it's Joey Porter. Heck, it might be Chris Gonzalez. I don't think he'll be there, but Chris Gonzalez, Joey Porter, or Deontay Banks. That's what
Man, you being honest, listen. We on the clock at 12.
Yeah.
After number 12, Green Bay, they ain't taking Mozzie. New England ain't taking Mozzie at 14. The Jets ain't taking Mozzie at 15. Washington for damn sure ain't taking a defensive tackle at 16. I don't think Pittsburgh would take him either. I would be shocked if Pittsburgh took him.
I don't know. Okay, go ahead. And then who's 17?
Pittsburgh. And then we picking at 18.
So you
I don't think teams value Mozzie. There's teams that value him. I don't think any of these teams value him enough to take him in the top 20 like that. I'm not even sure Brad Holmes in the Lions organization does.
Man, I think, that's I don't know. I just think that He way better than what he get credit for. Or I would go Nolan Smith. You know what I'm saying? Just change the game up. Take Nolan Smith at 12. You know what I mean? Would you rather have Nolan Smith or Christian Gonzalez at this point?
Christian.
You have rather have
I
Gonzalez?
think there's currently we only seen one corner get drafted so far, and that's Witherspoon at number 5. So
Man,
unless a corner goes, unless Tennessee takes a corner, which I don't think is going to happen, we're
they got
sitting at number
McCreary.
12 with our pick of any of the best corners in the class that we want, aside from Witherspoon. I would rather take that. I would be comfortable taking Porter. I'm not, like I said, but I'm not sure if Porter is really their guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But to me, there's more value at corner at 12 than there is right now at linebacker.
man, dude, I'm just. It's like they got so many options right now because they could be versatile and don't take. Only thing I would be upset. I'm gonna tell you, I would be upset at a tight end at 12. You know what I'm saying? Don't take a tight end at 12 right now. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you could get the best guy, obviously, if you do that, but you don't have to do that right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, nobody's going to care if that tight end turns out to be the next Travis Kelce or the next Gronk or whatever. Nobody's going to care that you took him at 12. The only reason we know exactly where we drafted Eric Ebron at is because of the fact that Ebron struggled. So
Yeah.
every Monday we had to hear on the radio here about how he was the 10th overall pick. He was the 10th overall pick. We could have had Odell Beckham Jr. We could have had this. We could have had that. If he would have turned out to be a baller for Stafford, nobody would have cared where he was drafted at, man. But you just got to make sure that if you take a tight end that high, he better be somebody special.
Yeah, I think a lot of Ebron's because of Aaron Donald. I think that would be
Yeah,
always tied to Eric Ebron. You know what I'm saying? Fair or unfair,
yeah,
Eric
that
Ebron's fault. You know what I'm
because we
saying? But
lost Sue the very next season. Yeah,
so that's what I think.
but no
I
way
don't.
am I in favor of taking a tight end at number 12 though.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Too many good ones. Too many. They draft as classes too. Now, if you want the best one, whether it's Michael Mayer or where it's Dalton Kincaid, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I think we need impact on defense, man. You know what I'm saying? Or offensive line or linebacker. You know what I'm saying?
What the
That's
hell's
what we
taking
need.
Tennessee so long? So they
Um,
don't even know.
yeah, the Lions got some options. So we got 12, 18, 12, 18. Let's see.
Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Draft tracker.
There you go. Skoronsky. Peter Skoron. I knew he was gonna go high.
I think they wanted Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
But
Big
man,
down
I
here.
mean, listen, so we can start talking about Skoronski real quick before we start jumping into Detroit at number 11. He's safe. And we discussed Skoronski and we discussed Tennessee drafting the offensive lineman. We've been discussing that on the Sunday show the past few weeks, man. He's safe.
Uh-huh.
Considering they just let the what's my man name? With the University of Michigan, the left tackle, who was there for all those years. He's gone now. You know exactly what I'm talking about though. Taylor Lewan.
Uh-huh.
So Taylor's gone. They need some help along that offensive line, and he does help out. Now, this is a rebuild for them. Tennessee's getting ready to go through a rebuild. Now, you're starting a rebuild with a guard,
Uh-huh.
unless you believe he's going to play tackle. But at worst case scenario, I think he's maybe a left guard because he's that good, I believe, in pass protection. Not so much as far as the run game. That's why I wouldn't really put him on the right side. He's more of a
Mhm.
left guard to me. But like I said,
Yeah,
he's safe, man. But
yeah.
I'm thinking we need not we, but if I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm going a little bit more for the upside, man. If I'm going offensive line, I'm thinking Broderick Jones. Antoine Harrison may have been a little too high for some people, even though I believe he's probably the best natural athlete at tackle in this class.
From Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I don't blame him, but damn, like they didn't take Levis, so all this Levis stuff was a smokescreen.
Hmm.
So now you got to start asking the question: well, if Tennessee, whose quarterback starved, passed on Will Levis, then who the hell else gonna pass on him? Because I don't think Detroit's gonna take him at
Uh-huh.
number 12. The Packers ain't taking him at 13.
Yeah,
Could the Patriots take him? The Patriots did bring Levis in now.
yeah. The Lions pick us in. We did give up 81. Walt. We got in that trade.
Yeah.
So we got 34, but we did give up 81, and we got one. Hold on, I got it right here. To trade down 6 spot. Okay, we got 34, and we got number 168, and then we traded. We gave Arizona number 81 that we had.
So we still got, was it 46 and 55?
No, we got what was it? 48, 55. So we got 34, 48, 55.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Cool.
Let's see. Here we go.
Cool. Cool. All right, Lions fans, this is it.
Jameer Gibbs.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, hey,
Woo!
Gibbs playmaker, dude.
Woo!
Hey, because if oh,
This man then shocked us again, bro.
because another Alabama player at 12, because we
Woo,
took
boy.
Jameson Williams last year. Remember at 12 at that spot.
Woo, boy. So now we going defense at 18.
Yeah, for sure. You have to. You know what I'm saying? You have to.
Man, boy.
Yeah, Gibbs the
Now,
ball.
woo, man. Jesus. Okay, so let's tackle this. All right, so oh boy, and I've been saying this all NFL, not NFL, all college football season, man. To me, there were a lot of teams around the league, and we also heard this. We both heard this. There were teams around the league that viewed Jahmyr Gibbs as RB1. I think Detroit was one of those teams because for them to invest the 12th overall pick in him, in a running back, that must be what Ben Johnson saw for his offense because he's damn near a glorified slot receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the comparison to Marshall Faulk between them, even though Marshall is a little thicker built than he was than Jahmyr Gibbs is, but he's got that Marshall Faulk type of versatility, man.
Yeah.
He's got great hands. He looks like almost like a wide receiver when he plays the football. He's just as explosive and just as creative with the ball in his hands as Bijan is. Even though I think Bijan, he has a little better contact balance because Bijan is also 220 plus pounds. But man, the versatility Jahmyr Gibbs brings to this offense, man, is bananas.
Yeah, and I had that. I made a post about Bijan, and I was just saying Bijan is dynamic, and this kid is dynamic just like Bijan. I mean, to have another guy on your offense that teams got to account for it. Think about it, Walt. You can
Well, it's
line
the
up.
speed too. What is the one thing Dan
We-
Campbell and Brad Holmes preached since day one coming here? They wanted a
speed.
fast football team.
Yeah, and then they just saying, I'm just trying to catch the audio, and they said our Dan Campbell goal and Brad Holmes' goal is to have a more versatile playmakers on offense. You know what I'm saying? Think about how vanilla the offense was. Like if you got Brock Wright catching passes, you know what I'm saying? Amon-Ra St. Brown is dynamic in the pass game. You can line him up now. Think about how much teams got to account for Jahmyr Gibbs out there. Then you can change the pace with David Montgomery. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams, when he gets back on the field, that's another guy that you got to account for. The Lions doing it right, man, because the best best friend of a quarterback like Jared Goff is a good running game. You know what I'm saying? Play action fake. You know, he was one of the I think I seen a stat. It was Jared Goff is like one of the top play action fake passers in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? It's not by accident that he's accurate and makes the right play when he has a running game. And I think that's Brad Holmes knows exactly what he's doing. I trust what he's doing, man, because you can see he sees almost like he see what we see out there. You know what I'm saying? Offensively, you just want to be able to just have all your bases covered. I know the defense is a situation we got to get that rectified, but I think that now that we accumulated another high pick, getting that 30 number 34 is gonna be huge, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that puts us in line to get like a Drew Sanders. You know what I'm saying? In that spot, or DJ Turner, a guy that can play the slot and cover corner. Again, 18.
Well, there's been talk about DJ being a first round pick also.
Yeah. What if Christian Gonzalez falls to 18? You know what I'm saying? They don't guarantee.
That's cool too.
Green Bay next, New England, and the Jets. Those are the next 3 picks. So we
Jahmyr Gibbs, our player.
Yeah. 5'9".
All right, so newest Detroit Lion running back Jahmyr Gibbs from the University of Alabama via University of Georgia Tech in the ACC, where he played for a couple seasons. Man, okay, so we looking at 5'9", 199. I'm pretty sure by the time he gets in the NFL weight room, he's gonna end up playing somewhere around 210. I think he should be. He's already 4.3 speed. He's a track guy. He should be able, if he puts on the right weight, because he's real thin in the lower body. That's really the only complaint I have about him. He's got sort of like a sprinter body, lower body wise, but
yeah.
9 hand size, 9 1/4, 30-inch arms, 30.5-inch arms, man. And if you go to combine results, 4.36 40.
Ooh, that's what I like. 4.36.
10-yard split.
No speed. Yeah.
Well, look at the 10-yard split though, 1.52. For people who don't know, that's really damn good. Now, he didn't do the broad jump, the 3-cone, the 20-yard shuttle, or the bench press. I don't know why he didn't do the broad jump at the combine. I think if you start thinking about explosion numbers, you look at his 40-yard dash time, you look at his 10-yard split, which shows his ability to stop and go in short areas, and the 33.5-inch vertical, which isn't much at all. Maybe that's part of the reason why he didn't want to do the broad jump, because typically players with lower vertical leaps struggle with the broad jump. But man, boy, if nothing else,
speed.
If nothing else, exactly. Now, the upsetting part is we won't get to see this team. We still won't get the opportunity to see this team completely full blown until week 7.
Until October, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's frustrating about it. But boy, Lions fans.
Packers took Lucas Van Ness. Wow. Yep. They said that's about where he was going to go too. You know what I'm saying? Right in that area.
I'm stunned. I'm stunned that they took Jahmyr that high. We've been talking about Bijan, and hopefully, we don't have to draft Bijan because Jahmyr may be there in a second. Brad said to hell with that. We're going to take him at 12.
And the reason why I said that, Brad Holmes did too. Remember I said, whatever position that you start to get a run on, like you said, like the Bijan, we know it's basically a 4-guy draft in the running back category, right? So Bijan's gone, right? So Brad Holmes was smart enough to say, you know what, I got to get one of these premier guys. I'm not getting one of these 7th round guys that might not make the team, like another Jamar Jefferson. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We got to get somebody that's an impact player. And I think that's why he pulled a trigger. If Bijan probably was there, he probably wouldn't have took Jahmyr Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? But I can respect that. He said, you know what? I got to get at least the next best guy, man, behind Bijan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
attack that area.
This high though. That's why I keep saying that I believe there's a chance that they had him graded higher, at least for their offense and their system over Bijan. just from a schematic standpoint of what Ben Johnson probably wants to do. Now, Jerry and I have discussed this numerous times going back to the middle of the regular season between Bijan and Jameer.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry made a very valid point about Bijan Robinson. The difference between Bijan Robinson and Jameer Gibbs is that having Bijan Robinson would have forced Ben Johnson to run the ball more conventionally more. Jameer Gibbs, he affects the passing game a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So on 3rd and long, you can go with one running back. You can throw Montgomery, a bigger back, in the backfield. You can throw Jameson Williams in the slot right along with Jameer Gibbs. You can flank that with whatever tight end you're going to get. They may not even go tight end. They may
Right.
feel like, now, you know what, man, we got a stud, a star in the backfield that can light up the scoreboard at the drop of a dime. We got receivers out there. We don't necessarily need to get a high-end tight end. We can ride things out with James Mitchell. And if James Mitchell doesn't pan out, we can always go back to the well and find a tight end sometimes next year in free agency, or find one in the draft next year. Or, hey, find one in the 2nd round this year. If teams decide that they don't really like Michael Mayer like that. Like, we got so many options at 18 right now, man.
Well, I see Pittsburgh just traded up because remember they were 17,
Yep.
right? Yeah, they just traded New England. They swapped picks with New England, so they want somebody here at 14.
Probably the best available offensive lineman that's left. Could be Broderick Jones.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going receiver. Yeah, they could. They saying offensive tackle. They could go receiver though.
Again,
They took Pickens last year, right?
yeah.
Didn't they take George Pickens?
They
Okay.
took Calvin. Well, he was only 5'8", but you know Calvin Austin was hurt a lot last season. It's like, man, like, is that really needed though? Like, they need back end help at corner. They need defensive line help. Guys up there getting up in age. They need offensive line help. Think about it. You invested a 1st round pick in Najee Harris 2 years ago. Do you want to get the best out of that pick eventually?
Wow. Yeah, Kenny Pickett, yeah, because they offense kind of, yeah, Najee, Kenny Pickett at quarterback, George Pickens. Well, if they take Michael Mayer, they might take a tight end.
Nah, they got old boy Pat Fryermuth.
Oh yeah,
Penn
that's
State.
right, from Penn State. Yeah, yep,
So
that's
what
right.
happens at 18? Because I don't think any of these. The only team I can see taking a corner between 13 and us is Washington.
Yeah,
They could take a
Washington.
corner.
Yeah, 16. Yeah,
But I'd be, hey man, if we get out of the 1st round with Jameer Gibbs and Christian Gonzalez, I'm okay. Or it could be Jameer Gibbs and Deontay Banks.
yep.
I don't want to
Deontay.
see us take another offensive player though. That's my whole thing, because we can get if this okay. Let's just assume Osiris Torrance is a target.
Oh,
We picking at 34. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't go in the 1st round, we can get him at 34.
yeah, the second pick of the 2nd round. You know what I'm saying? Pick is in. Let's see what. Man, this is because Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's still on the board. Yeah, that like you said, Will Levis. That's like.
What if Levis falls to 18?
Yeah,
No, look. Now you got to start asking the question, like, do we, man, like, we got Gibbs and we got Jameson Williams and we got this and we got Penei Sewell, and do we
Now,
have
Will-
enough? Do we have enough around Will Levis to make him good?
Brian, you was right, Broderick Jones.
Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
some of these picks are just sensible.
They traded up to get him too.
Yep. So now that's been a run. No, that's 4 tackles. 4 tackles going on. So the next guy on the board must be Antoine Harrison of Oklahoma. So he's probably going to be the next guy to go.
What about my man from other guy from my house? Yeah, him. I was gonna say DeJuan Jones. DeJuan Jones, big fella.
I think Jones is probably a 2nd round pick. He'll be in that next group of tackles that goes.
What about man? How about if we took another? How about we took a defense and we passed on cornerback again? You know what I'm saying? And like what I'm saying is like, nah, because I don't want Brian Breesy. I don't want him. I'm just thinking all the defensive tackles. Because I think we need to get that defensive line a little bit stronger, man. You know, another pass rush. You know, Nolan Smith is a guy. You know me, I was saying he was going to be in the top 10. Nolan Smith might real intriguing right now. You know what I mean?
Everybody, this is what we're currently looking at.
Because
Well, I mean, for me, man, unless it's Osiris Torrance, guard at number 18, offensive line is out of the question now. Darnell Wright's gone. Skornowski's gone. Broderick Jones is gone. Paris Johnson's gone. So if it is offensive line, it has to be guard, and it would be Osiris Torrance. And I'm not sure if they would take Torrance at 18. Brad Holmes has made it clear also they want difference makers in the first round. That's where the first round is where you get your difference makers. A guard isn't really considered a difference maker. He can be, but guard isn't really considered that. Look at this, man. They took Jamison Williams from Alabama.
Same spot, number
at
12.
At 12 last year.
Yep.
So we go right back to the well and draft another 4-3 player. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this offense looks like, man. I really am. Because we discussed, not having Jamison Williams for the first 6 games of the season. How do you counteract that? Do you go draft another receiver high? No, you don't have to do that. Do you go draft a tight end high? No, you don't have to do that. They just went and took probably the most explosive running back in this class. So
yeah.
The water found itself, man. Me and you had numerous debates throughout the regular season about Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, and I had Gibbs, like I said, a close second. It was sort of like the Bryce Young and CJ Stroud thing. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Young, CJ Stroud is A1, A1B. I think it's the same thing. Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs. I like the pick. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it makes our offense dynamic. It makes us unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? It don't makes us so vanilla. You know what I'm saying? Where we can just bring out different formations. You can have Swift. I don't know. Swift might not even make the roster now. I don't know, man. That's a writing on the wall for DeAndre Swift, that's for sure. And I'm glad that they didn't put all their eggs in that Swift basket, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't stay healthy. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, he plays 8-9 games a season, man. You know what I mean? So you got to give yourself an insurance policy. Just in case if he goes down again, can't play. And then, like you said, it's a contract year for Swift. You know what I mean? I don't see them throwing big money at him for him to stay. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, man. The considering the issues they had with him, the health, and him not running as hard as Deuce Staley and the team wanted him to, and it was the writing has been on the wall. Writing's been on the wall. You let Jamal Williams go. You bring in, and I'm glad to see this because a lot of times when new regimes go through rebuilds, they have a tendency to lean on the players too much that they shouldn't for too long. You know how when you start a rebuild, you got your first crop of players, the guys that you use to build everything from the ground up. And then you start liking them. I think Alexander Zaloni's one of those type of players that they like him. They genuinely like having him around. But you have to be able to have the fortitude to say, hey, you know what? You got us as far as we think you can get us, but we can upgrade. So we're going to have a brand new running back room next season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's tight. That's nice. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice situation. And you can tell this team trending up, man. The Lions going to be able to score some points. That's
and he doesn't dance either. Like that's the whole. He can dance, but he doesn't dance the way DeAndre did. Like Jahmyr finds daylight, and that's the thing. And you mentioned it before about that offensive line at Bama last season. That offensive line at Bama last season wasn't that great. he had to create a lot of plays on his own. He's not gonna have to do that with us. He's
Yep.
gonna be one cut 70-yard touchdown with us.
Yep. And that's something that we haven't seen since you
Barry
know
wasn't
who.
even that necessarily. Not just
Well,
a one cut 70-yard guy. Barry wasn't that fast though. Barry used to get caught from behind though. But
with just a big play.
Javid Best.
Yeah,
Javid Best
Java
may be the
fastball.
best comparison. Like Javid Best was a guy who would have 5 carries for 108 and 2 touchdowns. So
Yeah. So after we after the Lions they pick at 18.
we can dip out.
Yeah,
And then we can
put a
jump
bow.
back on.
We can put a bow on this thing, and then you know what I'm saying, because then we'll know our first round is all set. But I think getting that second round pick, Walt, I think is huge, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting a pick, because now think about it. We
You
get a
have the
pick.
ability to trade back into the first if you want, if somebody really starts to fall.
Yep, you could. You know, because right now I think to cap this thing up, they got to bulk up on the defensive line. I think we need one more guy on defensive line. You know what I'm saying? Because it almost right now as we stand, both Core brothers is still in the mix right now. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, and I ain't too comfortable with that. I want somebody, that's dependable. You know what I'm saying? You can't depend on them guys, man. They stay hurt. They don't play. You know what I'm saying? They don't,
Well, that was wild, man. That was unexpected. So let's start talking some more unexpected.
Yeah.
What is the most unexpected thing you could potentially see at number 18, man?
What if we drafted Will Levis? You know what I'm saying? That would be unexpected to say we got him at 18. To not draft a defensive player. What if we went off? What if they took Quentin Johnston? What if they took Michael Mayer? You know what I'm saying? What if they, what if they went
Jalen Hyatt?
Yeah, what if they took Jalen Hyatt? That's my guy. I would like it, but I'm like, man, they really got to get on this defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. I look at this Jahmyr Gibbs pick. It's sort of a luxury pick, but it kind of gives you the leeway now to say, okay, you know what? We helped out the offense. We're going to get a couple more offensive linemen, but everything else is going to be defense from here on out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't mess around. But I like the spot that we're in because you think about it, in that second round is normally when the linebackers go, you know what I'm saying, when the second tier.
The guards.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think to get that pick, like I said, we're going to have options between like Drew Sanders. You've been really high on Drew Sanders from the beginning. He could be a Detroit Lion. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on we just did the show on Osiris Torrance. He could be a guy, you know what I mean? We took at 34. Now that Darnell Wright's gone, now that Bradley Jones is gone, they still could go Michael Mayer. They could go Don Kincaid. They can still get a tight end. They might. But here we go. The Jets is at number 15. Let's see what they do. Because the Jets, I don't know where the Jets going to go. Let's see.
Offensive line.
You think offensive line? I was going to say that.
Yeah,
Jets,
they traded Elijah Moore.
Oh, yeah, they have the receiver. Yeah, they
Corey Davis is decent, but he's too inconsistent to be anybody's solid number 2. So I don't think they go tight end. They took a couple tight ends over the past couple years.
And then they signed Azuma, didn't they, from the Bengals? They got him too. I think I'm going to say, if I had to pick something, I'm going to say they're going to go. How they safety situation in Jets?
Pretty solid. Although they said they select Kyle Pitts, man, y'all got it messed up. That's the wrong year, man.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts went last year.
Man, Kyle Pitts went the year before last year.
It was year before?
Yeah, it was the COVID draft.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because he went, in the top 10?
Pitts was, 4th overall or 5th overall to Atlanta?
Okay.
Yep. Let me ask you this, man. How much, and for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone knows now, So the Washington Commanders declined the 5th-year option on Chase Young.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think any of that plays any role into it with Detroit? Because you can probably get Chase Young from Washington for probably a late second or early third.
Yeah, something to look into.
It saves you having to burn the pick on an edge rusher in this class. I mean, that's if you like him. And
Wow,
we
they
we
took
we discussed we discussed it last night though.
Will McDonald. Wow,
That
I like
early,
it. Yeah, yep,
the Jets took him.
yep. Will McDonald linebacker because they
Can't
took
say they didn't need another edge rusher. They did take Jermaine Johnson last year.
Jermaine Johnson. He
Jermaine
was.
started to come on a little bit towards the end of the season, but
I
I'm
didn't
just
hear
saying,
his
man.
name, dude. I didn't hear
Yeah,
Jermaine Johnson's name all year.
some of
You know
these
what I'm
picks,
saying?
it lets you know how these organizations feel about some of the players that they already have at those positions, man. Because they took an edge rusher in the first round last year with Jermaine Johnson. So
Man, Washington, New England, Detroit.
Washington goes corner. Or do you think is Sam Howell enough for you to not take Will Levis? At least build some competition in that room?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like, you know what, Sam Howell, he's the guy, we're going to continue to build around Sam Howell and make sure he succeeds?
I like Sam Howell. That was the one guy last year I kind of was like, the Lions could take a flyer on him, like late mid-round pick or something like that. I like Sam. I think that you should move forward if you Washington and Bill. They need some more weapons, man. Terry McLaurin, he's good. They need some help.
I think they okay at receiver. They could use a tight end.
The tight end, yeah. I think they need another pass catcher, man.
Well, they took Jahan Dotson in the first round too.
Yeah, but they need another guy.
They got Curtis Samuel too. I mean, Chris Samuel. Yeah, not Chris Samuel. That's always not. Yeah, Curtis Samuel. They got him too from free agency. So they don't have any big receivers though.
Yeah,
they got a bunch of smaller guys.
They safety situation ain't the great. Remember, the Lions played the Commanders. They not really. The D line is good. Deron Payne. We wanted at least I wanted Deron Payne here. They kept him around. They Commanders got a good 4-man front, man. They do defense, but yeah, that's the $1 million question though with Sam Howell, because some people believe in him, some people don't. I think he deserves a chance. I think Sam Howell can play. He can throw the ball. You know what I mean?
But this Will Levis slide, man.
Yeah, they showing Will Levis right now. Might go there.
Tell you, man, ignore the smoke.
What if the Lions took Hendon Hooker at 18?
I wouldn't mind it as much as it may sound like I was poo-pooing Hendon Hooker last night.
Because
look what you have around him. Like, I think that some of these guys, if you put them in our situation, they'll be fine regardless. But I think Hendon Hooker, he's got more brains. So if you're asking me, would I take Hendon Hooker or Will Levis, I would take Hendon Hooker over Will Levis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, that's why I put it out there. I had this conversation.
So that pick was horrible. You ain't like the pick, Troy?
I like. I would say this. Okay, I would say this.
Considering the guys that everybody, the elite defensive guys that everybody wanted were gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's Will Anderson, that's Jalen Carter, and that's Tyree Wilson.
Mm-hmm. The three of those guys, we're all gonna agree.
I get that, man, but he's making peanuts. Like these running backs ain't really making much, and they have an out after year 2 to get rid of him if they want to. So I don't know, man. I mean, it comes across as a luxury pick because you did just sign a running back, but there is no more running back. There's no mainstay guy anymore. I don't even think Jahmyr Gibbs is a bell cow mainstay guy. He's a guy that you can get the ball to a good 22 to 26 touches per game. Mm-hmm. I think things will be okay. You can get him about a good 14, 15 carries, get him a few more catches out of the backfield. That's how they plan on utilizing him, I believe. So, yeah, man. I mean, Troy, I get it, but at number 12, what would you have preferred them do? Because Jalen was gone, Will Anderson was gone. Tyree Wilson was gone. Devon Witherspoon was gone. And from the looks of things, a guy like Christian Gonzalez, an elite prospect, could be there at 18. But all of this comes down to, like, this is just our opinions. Our opinions. If you would have told me by this morning, well, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the 12th overall, we're going to trade back and we're going to take Jahmyr Gibbs in the top 20, I'd have been like, man, you silly. But we didn't expect Jameson either last year.
Yeah, but you got to play to how the draft.
Oh no, he's gonna play.
No, Gibbs gonna play.
He's gonna play like
from day one. I think Swift is gonna be the guy.
Right.
Swift might not even make the roster now. Well,
Montgomery ain't Adrian Peterson now. Yeah, like he ain't about to just bail cow it.
No,
Gibbs is gonna play.
Gibbs gonna play. But
multiple backs are gonna play. I think Craig Reynolds. I think they're done with the running back position. Craig Reynolds is gonna be another change of pace third back guy. Mm-hmm. Isn't Jackson still out there? They haven't signed him, re-signed him.
Justin Jackson, no.
Yeah.
I think Jamar Jefferson.
He was the speed guy, but now Jahmyr Gibbs is the speed running back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to play to your strengths, I think. I mean, you got to draft the way the board is going. That, in my opinion. Like I said, if Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs would have went as high if Bijan wouldn't have went. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
You know what I mean? Bijan would have went 20th. I think, Gibbs might have went a little bit later, but I think let's see what Washington do. This is gonna be interesting.
Woo!
Here we go.
Told you.
See, here the cornerbacks go.
Somebody was as high on him as I was, and it was Washington. Mm-hmm. All right, so we can go on ahead and we can do what we need to do at 18 then, man.
Yeah, because now you got to get a cornerback because now they starting to go. You know what I mean? Watch what New England do. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to go to how the board going. Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Ford went before Gonzalez. I'm surprised, man. And Forbes, I like him. I really do. I
166 pounds.
Yeah, I think the combine really put him ahead of ahead of a lot of guys. Joey Porter, even Kaylee Ringo. I still like Kaylee Ringo. Everybody kind of forgot about him a little bit.
What if he was the pick? What if he went ahead of Christian Gonzalez?
Oh, Kaylee Ringo. I like Kaylee Ringo. I wouldn't be upset about it. But I think Christian Gonzalez is a better, sure cover corner. You know what I'm saying? He a cover corner. That's what I like about him. You know what I'm saying? I think he fits our system better, Christian Gonzalez.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Lucas Van Ness. Green Bay just keep drafting big-time prospects, man. And that defense keeps on struggling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rashawn Gary. They got Wyatt last year, Quay Walker.
Oh, they got, man, listen.
Jair Alexander.
If we just talking about Stokes, if we just talking about talent, man, Green Bay stocked over there on the defensive side of the ball, but they still stink every year. Mm-hmm. Remember going into last season, I predicted Green Bay was going to have a top 5 defense, borderline top 3, and it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to see how they're building these other teams, but Minnesota haven't picked yet. But it's interesting to see how the Bears are constructing their team from the ground up. And it's also interesting to see how the Green Bay Packers are rebuilding on the fly. Because when you lose a Hall of Fame quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you still have a complete football team around that next quarterback, which is Jordan Love, but it's still a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Christian Gonzalez,
Damn it.
Now the cornerback starting to go. Now you take Joey Porter or you taking Deonte Banks? Which one you want?
Ooh, man. Oh, man.
I like Joey Porter better than Banks. I do. You know what I'm saying? Banks to me is like another Devin Witherspoon. I think he's more of a hitter. I think Joey Porter might be a little bit better, but he raw though, man. I don't like the pass interference, the hands. I don't like all that with Porter though. You know what I'm saying? He got to work on that. That's the only thing about him. He look a little erratic sometimes to me. You know what I'm saying? But I like the length. I like that he a guy that can guard any receiver out there. You know, you put him up against AJ Brown or something like that. He can get physical with them guys. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna talk to Kendall about this. I can't wait to talk to Kendall later or tomorrow about this because he wanted Porter forever to New England. I've been telling him for a while that Gonzalez is better.
Mm.
And you see who New England decided to take. Yeah, man, we on the clock. Let's start throwing out some names for everybody that's watching. Who's possible? We got Deonte Banks. We got Branch, who we've been rumored to, to really be high on out of Alabama, the safety / slot corner.
Oh, Nolan Smith.
Smith?
Yep, in this spot, yep. I'm on Nolan Smith or Mozzie, man. I'm a Mozzie
Troy
guy.
Says Kancey.
Kancey. Troy was with me. I was just getting ready to say Kancey. Yep.
Or Porter.
Yep.
Mike says Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to ask you this, man. Because you got 3 second-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
You did sign 2 corners in free agency. You could maybe perhaps brush off corner at 18 and attack corner at 34 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's a guy you want in perhaps a Clark Phillips. We'll have to start digging into the cornerback position. But, man, listen, the deeper we go, the lesser and lesser the talent is going to get. So you don't want to just put corner off too much. But Clark Phillips always struck me as
from Utah.
A Dan Campbell type of guy, though. Aaron Glenn type of guy, an undersized corner who had to scrap and fight his way through everything.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand, Phillips has dominated everywhere he's at. In college, every camp he went to, he was always the best player, if not the MVP. So there's a lot to say for a guy who's 5'8" and has had to compete the way he's had to compete. We spoke the same thing up about Bryce Young yesterday. Guys who don't have as much physical gifts or physical size as some of their counterparts have to make up for it how? Extra studying, paying extra close attention to detail, being the smartest guy on the field. And that's what Clark Phillips can do. So it's going to be interesting, man. You got Mozzie Smith still on the board. You got Kalijah Kancey on the board. I think Mozzie fits more of what we need. We need somebody in the middle of that defense that can stop the run, a guy that is a physical, dominant presence in the middle of our defense. We don't have that. We got guys like Bugs and Kaminsky who are rotational guys, but, man, like we don't have a big, nasty dude, 330 in the middle of our defense that's eating up double teams.
Strong as hell.
Yes.
Mozzie would be I'm telling y'all, that's the guy, man. You know,
he's protection. He's protection for the linebackers.
Forget the number by the name. Forget the number 18. People say he not the 8. Forget that. You know what I'm saying? You got to. And I'm with Kancey too. I'm with Kancey or Mozzie Smith. That's what I'm gonna say. Or Joey Porter. I like Joey Porter too. You know I like Joey Porter. You know what I'm saying? It's like they got options here. You know what I mean? What they do. Any of those 3 players, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying?
Troy says, yep, that's what I'm glad, man. Listen, me and you been hammering this on this show since early last season, since the Philadelphia Eagles game, matter of fact, in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody keeps talking about interior pass rush. The hell with that. The interior pass rush wasn't the problem last year. It was the interior run defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got a defensive line full of dudes who are between 280 and just tickling 300. We don't have anybody in the middle of that defense that's going to really command a double team as a nose. We thought Aleem McNeil was going to be the typical nose, but Aleem slimmed down and he developed his pass rush. I'm not mad at Aleem for developing his pass rush, but we struggle against the run too bad, man, too bad. So what's going on, man? I see Tampa is on the clock now.
No, the Lions, the pick is in. They didn't say it yet, though.
Okay. Yeah, man. Troy gets it, man. If you look at University of Michigan, David Ajabo and Aiden Hutchinson, a lot of their success was predicated off Mozzie being a disruption in the middle of that defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mike Morris,
Nolan Smith, is he more of a pass rusher? You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like a 3-4? He's
an elite run. He's an elite run defender. Now, can he develop into a solid pass rusher? I think he can. I don't think Nolan will ever play with his hand in the dirt. But then it comes down to what type of system, how many linebackers do you plan on playing at any given time? You know, you don't want to just draft a talent and then misuse them. I think that's what happened with Levi and Wuzurike. He should have been a 4-3, 2-tech, or a 3-tech. Instead, you brought him in and you tried to round peg in a square hole him into being a 3-4 defensive end, eating up double teams all day, and that's not what he was. So, but I mean, the jury's still out on him too.
Man, what if they took Will Levis? Would you be upset?
We'll have a lot to talk about. I mean, I wouldn't be mad then because I would feel like, okay, you know what? We feel like we're going to build a team around him, and we still got 3 second-round picks. So I wouldn't be completely mad. I would prefer, if we went linebacker, I would prefer to see Drew Sanders.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, at this point, you can't look at the name, the number by the name. I think people, oh, he went number 10, you know what I'm saying? Them days is over, man. I think teams are getting exactly who they need for their schemes, you know what I'm saying? As you know, and I think that if you like a guy, no matter what number he is, you go get him. You know what I'm saying? That's how I've always been like that in any sport. You know, if that's your guy, get him. You know what I'm saying? Take him. And
I'm gonna ask you this then. What if they did go tight end here? Because they got their job of not the job. They have their pick of sitting right here at 18. They can get the number 1 tight end in the class if they want to. So how would you feel about them doubling down on offense in the first round and then just attacking the defense in the second round?
I won't like a tight end. Not right here. I wouldn't. No, I would be upset because it's more talent.
Good job, Grady. Appreciate that. Yeah, they are. He ain't direct that towards me though. He actually did though. He directed it towards us regarding the Lions. But yeah, man. I mean, we explosive. We were damn sure explosive, and we got enough picks to still fix that defense. I just want fans to not get caught up in the first round. A lot of fans just look at the first round when it comes to the draft as the end-all, be-all. You know, you can still build a contending team past the first round. That's actually how you build a contending team.
Jack
really?
Campbell. Wow.
Really?
I don't know about that, man.
At 18?
At 18.
Really?
Yeah, I would that. I hate the pick. That was
over Drew Sanders, over Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith. Oh my God. And Mozzie. Oh man. See, that's what I'm saying. So,
and I mean, he's not even a new age linebacker. Like Jack Campbell is more of a throwback linebacker.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, putting him in with
I'm not mad at the fact that we took a linebacker. I don't like the linebacker we took over the guys that were still on the board. That's my whole thing, man. Who the corners were gone?
I would have took Nolan Smith, but like I said, I just said it. Maybe that for your system, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the guy that's for your system. You know what I'm saying?
He's a first round pick, so he must be playing next season. So Derek Barnes is out.
Yeah, oh yeah, Derek Barnes, yeah, because you got Rodriguez. Because James Houston is more of an edge rusher / linebacker. You know what I'm saying? But he's more of an edge rusher, right? I could have swore, man, that Nolan Smith would have fit just like Jack Campbell. But Jack Campbell, good tackler. You know what I'm saying? He a for sure tackler. That's number 1 that stood out. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I wouldn't have took him at this spot. I would have, like you said, not that he don't deserve to be this high. It's just I would have took another guy instead of him. But I get it though. You know what I mean? I get unique guys that fit your system. You know what I'm saying?
That's a reach to me, man. Troy says Campbell is a great player. I get it. You know, this Big Ten country, we've been watching Jack Campbell in Iowa for the last few years, man. I'm not mad at linebacker. I just think that there's more physically gifted, explosive players out there that provide more pass rush ability and overall athleticism within the defense that he does, man. Now, if it came down to taking him or Trenton Simpson, that may be a little different. But it's like, okay, Anzalone is a big, I don't want to call them prehistoric linebackers, but those Noah Sewell and Who was the other guy? Jelani Tavai, like those big oversized linebackers from the 90s. Now, Jack Campbell did slim down for the combine. He tested out better physically than a lot of people thought he would, including me. But I don't know, man. I mean, if we just go, let's take a quick look at who else was still on the board, man.
Nolan Smith.
If we just talking about defensive players,
yeah, yeah, we can just go just go defense. You'll see. Let's just go defense since they took that side of the ball. Joey Porter, you know what I'm saying? Nolan Smith. I'm just thinking about guys that I want. Drew Sanders, you know what I'm saying? You would have thought Drew Sanders would have been the pick before him. I keep bringing up
Miles Murphy.
Yeah, Miles Murphy. Wow, Miles Murphy's still there. Somebody will get a good player, man. You know what I'm saying? Miles Murphy, a hell of a player.
Keon White. Yeah, I don't know, man.
From Georgia Tech, Keon White, right? He pass rusher. Yeah. Let's see.
See, this is what we've been preaching for the last few weeks leading up to the draft. We have zero idea on who these GMs really do like.
Tampa. Kalijah Kancey.
All right, man. So, well, that we think that's the end of the first round.
Yeah.
Winning for us. What do you think? That's it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I think that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I think that second pick in the first round to start.
So Troy thinks. So you think both picks are reach? If people think the Jahmyr Gibbs pick is a reach, I can agree. I could agree because with as many issues as this defense had, a running back at 12 is kind of like not necessarily a slap in the face to the defense, but Aaron Glenn has waited his turn. This is 3 off seasons now. You gave him Aiden Hutchinson a year ago. The team lucked up and struck gold with James Houston later on in the draft. But when are you going to start giving this dude the studs he needs on defense? Now, you went out and you signed a couple free agents in corners, but I don't like the Campbell pick. I don't, man.
Yeah, because I'm like, Kalijah Kancey went to pick after him, and that was like Troy brought up Kalijah Kancey. That was the guy too. You know what I'm saying? It was a number of guys. It's 6 guys that they could have took. You know what I'm saying?
That does look different. We could have walked away this draft with Jalen Carter and Joey Porter Jr. Instead, we got Gibbs and Jack Campbell. I'm okay with Gibbs. And Troy, I want to ask you this. You can comment on it. If we would have walked away with Gibbs and Drew Sanders, or Gibbs and insert whatever defensive player is still on the board that you would have liked, would you feel better about the Gibbs pick? Because I think a lot of people felt that, okay, Gibbs at number 12, that's kind of a reach. I like the speed, I like the talent, but we could have went differently at number 12. I personally probably would have took Christian Gonzalez at 12 over Gibbs. I just think that we could have gotten Gibbs at 18. But like I said, the Jack Campbell train, man, the hype train has been – I don't get exactly what he's done over the past few months to really change everybody's perception of him. The film is the same film that everybody looked at the end of the regular season and felt that he was an unathletic, oversized, outdated type of linebacker. That's the same film that people are watching now. That's what gets me about the draft, how everybody can watch film on you for the past 7-8 months, and then all of a sudden a guy named starts chasing up draft boards, and then everybody starts changing their overall opinion of him. Now, he appeared to be a little bit better athlete. I thought he was a marginal athlete. He appeared to be a little bit above average at the draft, but I don't know, man. Like at 18, I wonder also, was this used as a throwaway pick because we got 3 second-round picks? They felt like they could kind of take a chance on the guy. Yeah. What else Troy says? Feels like we fumbled this draft. This doesn't have the same feel as the last. I'm not mad at you so far. It ain't over with, though. It ain't over with.
y-
Gibbs and Kansas, I feel a little better, but not much better. Okay, that's respectable. Yeah,
yeah, like I say,
I'm
you
okay
can't.
with Gibbs because I feel like Gibbs is going to give us extra juice offensively.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah,
all of those 35-yard runs, DeAndre Swift would break off and then get tackled or get, you know what I'm saying, he'll get shoelace tackled or he'll trip over his own feet or he just flat out just get hawked down. Those are runs that Jahmyr Gibbs is gonna house. Gibbs ain't the king of the 35-yard run. That's pretty much what DeAndre Swift was. So somebody that I feel can light up the scoreboard, I'm okay with. But we still need some help on defense. We added a few guys in free agency, but man, we so far I'm not gonna poo-poo the draft too much right now, Troy. We got a lot more picks left starting with tomorrow or even started with tonight, you know. First round ain't over with. But yeah, Campbell does feel like a reach. He does feel like a reach.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just trying to go through it and see. Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if they made another move. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe to get a Hendon Hooker or something like that. You know, that would be a reason why, you would trade back in and get a quarterback, maybe. But the bright side of it is that this is a talented draft, you know what I'm saying, both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? It might be not be less it might be less star studded because you got to address the offensive line at some point. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, if you don't get the playmaker, talent on defense, you know what I'm saying, which we were looking for, you know what I'm saying. Now you're finding yourself with the second tier guys, you know what I'm saying, and now
Yeah.
it's like, okay, now you can get another Malcolm Rodriguez. It's gonna be hard to find. Chances are you're not gonna find another Malcolm Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? We struck gold last year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Brad Holmes can draft later on in the draft. He's shown he has the ability, and with 34, it's like you know
Maybe Mozzie at 34. I ain't
I
mad at it, man.
I hope so. That's what I'm hoping for right now because we gotta
He
address the
makes
deep.
Jack Campbell better.
Yeah, exactly. Or your guy Ika from Baylor. You know
Siaki
what I'm saying?
Ika.
Yeah, Ika. Yeah, they got to address that position. You know what I'm saying? Um, so we got to put a bow in this. You know what I'm saying for the first couple picks in first round. Like I said, we kind of both disappointed. You know what I mean? Because I kind of wanted a different guy at that spot. You know what I'm saying? I think we both can agree on that. You know what I mean? But hey, you know what I'm saying? Jack Campbell, it is what it is. Like I say, he is a guy that, like you say, you could get him, put him in the right scheme, and hide him and do things. I don't know if he's gonna overpower anybody. I think for sure he's a for sure tackler. I know that for a fact. And that
Yeah,
means
but
that means a little bit, but more is more physical. I don't know how fast he is. You know what I'm saying? That type. I don't think he's like a great, you know,
listen, man. I'ma
side to
just say
side kind of
this.
guy. You know what I mean? Just
You made Jack Campbell the number one linebacker selected in this draft. That's
mhm,
all I'm gonna say.
yeah.
He was not the number one rated linebacker. I don't think on anybody's board. Well, I guess Detroit's board he was.
Mhm.
But you took Jack Campbell as the number one linebacker in this class.
Yeah, over Nolan Smith. I can't believe it. I was saying Nolan Smith, that's the guy. Even Drew Sanders, yes, but Nolan Smith was the
Guys who have
guy.
more explosive upside, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. I ain't looking for another guy who can't run, who can't cover, who can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got them guys already. You know what I'm saying? We need a game changer. You know what I'm saying?
Broken Tube says this looks crazy. People ain't like people ain't. It does look strange, man. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, 12th overall. I'm not as mad at that pick as some other people are. I'm just gonna keep saying like Jack Campbell at 18. Jack Campbell, and it's not like it was a reach because um, guys like Nolan Smith went, Guys like Trenton Simpson went, other linebackers, Drew Sanders went. They willingly took um, Jack Campbell as the number one linebacker
Yeah.
at number 18. So I mean, he's a short tackler. He helps out the run defense in the red zone and whatnot. But I just don't see the necessary athlete in space.
Right.
And more than likely, if Anzalone's going to be the Mike, you're going to make Campbell an outside linebacker. You're going to make him an off-ball linebacker. So,
Man, Nolan Smith would have been way. I'm just saying, I've seen Nolan Smith play. You see him like I have.
well, I think he
From
can
the
play. I think
I think Nolan Smith would have been great for the Lions, man. I mean, I don't like the pick. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm cool with linebacker, but like you said, this I don't like the pick. You know what I'm saying? The person that we actually took, man, it was like you said, it wasn't like all the linebackers was gone and he was like the last guy. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing, or like the third guy on the list. So
yeah.
what I mean? Hopefully, this will be a start of a good run on defense for the Lions because they really do need to make up for this. And like you said, maybe I said hide them in the defense, maybe get some players around them, you know what I'm saying, that can bring them out, bring his talents out, you know what I'm saying. And two, I can't say this, the bright side of it. Like you said, Aaron Glenn probably pissed. Like I should have got a head coaching job now. Y'all don't give me Jack Campbell like that, you know what I'm saying? So,
I'm pretty sure they discussed it with him. Like, what line? It's his defense. So,
mhm,
as a GM, would I be in my right mind to tell my defense coordinator, this the linebacker you need in your defense. This the one I like.
mhm.
Although sometimes you may need to do that for your coordinators, but I don't know, man. If you want to be honest about it, man, you gave him Aiden Hutchinson last year. He was the number 2 overall pick. Aside from that, you kind of lucked into some guys. Malcolm Rodriguez, James Houston, Kirby Joseph later on in the 3rd round. You haven't really given him a lot of high-end guys.
Right, right, right.
So
So that's what
Jackson
I'm.
Smith and Jigba to Seattle.
Yeah.
That's different.
Mhm,
I didn't see that coming.
yeah.
So the Chargers are on the clock. Yep. So, all right, man. We think that wraps up round 1, unless Brad Holmes got something else cooking up. But we're currently looking at 3 second-round picks for day 2. We're kicking off tomorrow night. What picks we got tomorrow night, man, in the second round?
34,
34.
48, and I want to say 55.
Yeah.
Yep, 55. And
Okay.
it's a second and third round tomorrow.
Yep.
And we traded away 81. So right now, we don't have a third round pick.
You're right. You're
You know
right.
what I'm saying? We got 3 second round picks. That's it. Unless we, trade back or trade into the third round.
Okay. Yeah.
But
So
we
what
got
we
3
can do?
players.
What time do the draft start tomorrow night?
Yeah,
Same time.
I think it's 7. I think it's a little bit early tomorrow. So hopefully we can get on, you know what I mean, before or
We
that.
need to get on and discuss the
Well, I
best
think
available players left.
yeah, because this the thing. I think the second pick in the second round will be relatively quick. You know what I mean? We don't have to wait around as
Yeah.
long, at least for the first one. So yeah, maybe it might be a situation we get on and then we can already the newest line already be picked. You know what I'm saying? And then we could kind of go from there. You know what I'm saying? Get everybody's opinion on how they feel about the second round. You know what I mean? Get a wish list going because like I said, it's a lot more draft picks to be had. So hopefully, Brad Holmes can make up for it because I don't think that and Troy put it best. I'm gonna say this, and I'll
Well, we
be
don't want to condemn him on draft night.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he said it best, saying that
Campbell could turn out to be a stud for us.
we could have had like he said, Jalen Carter and Joey Porter Jr. were like a lot better. But I'm not killing the Gibbs pick because I like Jameer Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? I think I know what he brings. Like you said, yeah, 12 is high, but I think they only, I don't want to say panic, but they just like, oh man, Bijan went It's high. That was high for Bijan, I thought. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they wanted to get an elite
Well,
running
we we
back.
we, we had a feeling
Mhm.
Atlanta could go in that direction, given Arthur Smith coming from Tennessee, what the philosophy was in Tennessee the entire time he was there. Even quarterback wise, like they've always had like sort of dual threat quarterback, going back to Jake Locker, and you got Tannehill, and they did draft Malik Willis. So I don't think that was that big of a surprise, man. But there's some comments.
Mhm.
All right, guys, thanks for the stream. Yep, appreciate it, man. We'll be back tomorrow though. Hopefully, we can get on a little early tomorrow and do a quick breakdown of round one. If anything happens in round one after we leave off this stream tonight, of course, we'll break it down tomorrow evening. But we want to get on a little early before the second and third rounds kick off. That way we can go through the best available players still on the board. And we can discuss with you guys exactly what you think as far as direction-wise where the team can go. We got to build off of this now, fellas and ladies out there listening. We got to build off of this. So we've been talking about the past 3 months. What's the combination going to be in the first round? Is it going to be cornerback and edge rusher? Is it going to be tight end and wide receiver? Is it going to be offensive guard and corner? Well, it turned out to be running back and linebacker. So that'll wrap things up for night one. Of course, everybody else is going to continue to follow through and finish up watching round one. But hope you guys enjoyed the watch party. We will be back tomorrow night to break some things down for everyone. Till next time, enjoy the rest of round one. Peace.